Heard her sing in tongues of silver, heard her cry on a summer storm. I loved her, but she did not know it, and I don't think about her anymore. Now she's gone and I can't believe it, so I don't think about her anymore. If 3 and 4 were 7 only, well, where would that leave 1 and 2? If love can be and still be lonely, well, where does that leave me and you? Time there was and time there will be, where does that leave me and you? If I had a buckskin stallion, I'd tame him down and ride away. If I had a flying schooner, I'd sail into the light of day. If I had your love forever, sail into the light of day. Pretty songs and pretty places, places that I've never seen. Pretty songs and pretty faces, tell me what their laughter means. Some look like they'll cry forever, tell me what their laughter means. If I had a buckskin stallion, I'd tame him down and ride away. If I had a flying schooner, sail into the light of day. If I had your love forever, sail into the light of day.
How'd everybody like that song? That was Buckskin Stallion by Townes Van Zandt. Excellent guitar player, excellent songwriter, very, very good. You might have actually heard some of his songs because they've been around. Famously, they used Lungs, which was by him on an episode of True Detective. Also, Three Billboards outside Ebbings, Missouri. That movie, they used Buckskin Stallion. They used it twice, actually. They used it and a cover. Fierce Apathetic Black Q for $1. The 2019 adaptation of Watchmen can be seen as a thought-provoking, socially conscious series with emphasis on empowering women and addressing issues of racial tension. And they followed it up with another one for $1. Some viewers may have found the portrayal of Rorschach's ideology as problematic as it aligns with white supremacist beliefs. We're going to talk about that. We are going to talk about that. Yes, I just sat down and finished all of 2019 Watchmen. I just got done watching the last episode. That's why we started late. And I decided to have this impromptu. Townes Van Zandt also wrote Poncho and Lefty. He did. He wrote a whole bunch of songs. The thing is, I just sat down to finish the show. I have been putting off 2019 Watchmen for a while. It's actually a request someone made a while ago for a video. I wanted to put it off because I knew the show was bad. And specifically, I didn't want to give it attention. Lately, well, I say lately, but it's starting to peter off. A little bit peter off. But you see that it became sort of a marketing tactic to antagonize the audience and get a bunch of free press that way. Because even if you hate watch, you are still watching. You know, you are still giving a view, still giving it money. Convenience of streaming has just gotten people to completely forget about piracy to the point that really it's even if a show is despised, it can still be a success. 2019 Watchmen attempted that, but a lot of people theorize that it fell the fuck apart because at first it was pitched as a mini-series. Then when the show came out, they said, oh, we might do a season 2. We might. It even ends on a cliffhanger. And then not long afterwards, they're like, yes, season 1 only. Fuck you. So, Streisand effect. Exactly. They wanted to use the Streisand effect. Velma's another one. So, I saw ER review the first episode and never went near it. Yeah. And the thing is, the first episode, that only has pieces of what makes the show annoying. Because that is the big thing that is the issue with 2019 Watchmen. At its very core, it is annoying. It is infuriatingly annoying. It's one of those where, as I was watching it, 3 words kept popping up in my head over and over and over again. Stupid, boring, and racist. And not racist in the way you think, where this is actually something where I think a lot of the culture war people kind of not so much missed the mark, but more of the fact of they didn't want to word it in the way that I'm going to word it, because admittedly it is something where if you word it wrong, people will hound your ass over it. Even the piece episode 1 sound really racist, the whole never mix the yolk with the white speech made me feel uneasy. It gets worse. White people bad? Yeah. They didn't want to harp on it because it is a point where if you word it wrong, you can end up making yourself look like an idiot. So they kept it simple with just white people bad. They're not wrong, but I fully believe it goes a step further and is just genuinely racist to basically every minority group they bring up. Like, it's a thing where it's not just that it's white people bad, it's outright exploitation. It is exploitation of racial issues. It is exploitation of an actual historical event with the Battle of Tulsa, which I'm not going to call it the Tulsa Massacre because it wasn't a massacre. It was the Battle of Tulsa. It was an equal exchange of gunfire. Soft racism of low expectations? Oh, yes. Not even soft racism. It is the bigotry of low expectations. There is a literal plot point, and one quick second. Warrior Satch 33 born again for $1. Hey, Loli, say I had to watch that show. Got a USP, full size, and 40. Trigger is a little bit odd, but fine. Ooh, that is interesting. Mark 99 for $2. For the love of God, Loli, why? I know that someone requested, but honestly, refund them. Fuck Watchmen 2019. Also, reminder, drink some water. Well, that's the thing. As much as I am annoyed that I had to sit through the show, and it was just... I was literally posting on Twitter, the people that think this show is smart are fucking stupid. It's not even debatable. If you believe the show is smart, you are stupid, and you do not watch enough stuff to understand better media. That sounds very elitist, I know. That sounds very like, your movie sucks. Oh, you watch Marvel movies? Well, why didn't you watch this Israeli political thriller that came out 20 years ago? You know, that kind of shit. No, I legitimately believe if you think the show is intelligent, you have blinders on. Ammonia for 2 fake monies. Even if Guts kills Griffith, will it change anything? I think so. I think it'll put enough fear into the God Hand to at least back off. For stupid people, just about everything seems smart. That is true. So we're saying his Cosmonaut is a hack. What I'm saying is, I think the only reason people praised it is because it came out in 2019 at the height of BLM, and it was saying every fucking BLM talking point there could be. Like, every fucking BLM talking point that came out, they were like, yes, current thing. I'm so happy about the current thing injected into my veins, without even looking at if it even made fucking sense. That's where you get downright contradictory elements to the world building. Like, you have the thing where in one night a bunch of white supremacist terrorists, well, not the height of BLM, that was 2020. No. BLM was a thing way before 2020. I remember hearing it in high school. But the thing is, in one night, you had a white supremacist terror group, the 7th Cavalry, kill a bunch of police officers and put them in so much fear that police officers, as a group, had to go completely anonymous, like wear masks and become superhero shit. Nothing about that makes any fucking sense. Nothing. Cult Person 95, which is the worst scenario? All the DMC VAs being replaced for the anime, or just Ruben being replaced for the anime? That would, yeah, that is actually something to ponder. Because, Ruben going like, hey, they didn't even call me, that's fucked up. It's like, you're right, that is fucked up. Marshmallows $2. My parents went to Nashville and brought back some candy. Nashville is fun. I really like Nashville. Whole bunch of barbecue places. But why would Rorschach be against cops? Rorschach is barely even in the... He's not even in the show. They use Rorschach's mask just to say, fuck you for even liking Rorschach. That is literally the entire point behind it. The group that's using his mask, their motivations have nothing to do with Rorschach. Nothing. And that's what makes it even more infuriating, and like I said, exploitation. Rorschach was an openly right-wing character, more even flat-out said he was a right-wing character. He's based off The Question by Steve Ditko, and Steve Ditko is right-leaning. So they make him into a parody where it's a bunch of white supremacist good old boys who are actually tied to a much bigger white supremacist gang that's been going around since the 40s, called Cyclops. So they retroactively go back and shit all over the legacy of Rorschach on multiple degrees. Not just because the white supremacy gang is using his mask. You say Rorschach weird? Who gives a fuck? But the whole thing is they use Rorschach's mask and his iconography just to say fuck you to fans who like Rorschach. Because, you identify with a bunch of trailer trash. You identify with a bunch of rednecks. That kind of shit. And the thing is, the actual motivations of the bad guy would lean perfectly into Rorschach's journal being found. Rorschach's journal, where it flat out explains Veidt is planning on committing genocide. He's going to kill millions of people. He's fucking evil. He murdered the comedian. They set up a perfect opportunity for that to come up again. And where you can understand, okay, so they did find the journal. They're enraged and they want revenge. And that is when Looking Glass, who is one of the cops, gets kidnapped by the 7th Cavalry and taken to their compound, and they sit him down and go, here's the truth about what happened in New York. Because Looking Glass was actually a survivor from New York. He was actually there during the squid attack, because it uses the comic book version where a psychic squid comes down in New York and murders millions of people, instead of, the movie. The movie where it's Dr. Manhattan's power that's rearranged into a weapon, which a lot of people agree actually makes more sense. It's like, okay, that's why Dr. Manhattan couldn't see beyond the future, because it's its own power. The tentacle squid thing, was like, not that shit movie version. No, the shit movie version's it makes a lot more sense, and it actually is more diabolical. The tentacle squid just kind of felt like, I had to have something. But the whole point is, wasn't there a scene where a woman spread her legs to the camera and impregnated herself with Ozymandias' seed? Yes, one of his maids. And that comes back in the very end. To be honest, the second they said that Rorschach, the man with morals and principles, basically got blamed for inspiring a white supremacist militia, I knew it was produced by hate-filled brainlets. Oh, it's more than that. Later on, they have the fucking FBI. The fucking FBI, the actual feds, the people who are looking into the situation at Tulsa, never once step up and go like, hey, we'll clear out the white supremacist terror group that murdered tons of cops in a single night. Nothing like that. They go, well, who cares about Rorschach? It isn't the 80s anymore. It's like, he's the guy that cracked the fucking case, you disrespectful bastard. But the big problem is the fact that the scene where Looking Glass finds out about the truth in New York, once again, something very personal to him, because he was a survivor of New York and has been traumatized by it ever since. Instead of it having it be Rorschach's journal, where he spells out in no uncertain terms, Veidt is going to do something. He's going to kill millions. They just have it be, yes, right before he committed genocide or killed millions, however you want to word it, Veidt sat down and recorded an entire confession tape he was going to send to the president, because he wants credit for, quote-unquote, saving humanity, because thanks to the giant squid, nuclear war was averted. They literally had Ozymandias, the smartest man in the world, not even fucking kidding, sit down and record a confession tape because he wants credit from the president. And it's like, are you stupid? Are you fucking kidding me? This is an opportunity to actually have the Rorschach mask mean something, because then you can look at the 7th Cavalry and view them in a different light. Jacob Patton for $2. Lindsay Ellis defended this garbage, enough said. Yeah, anyone who defends this, they're lying out their ass. They are divine from pink flamingos. They're eating a turd. That context is the most confusing thing I've ever heard. All you have to know is the white supremacy group is called the 7th Cavalry. They take Rorschach's mask and wear it as their own, and they want to fight because they view the American president as a traitor. A lot of ways he fucking is, but, you know. Mosby on crack for $2. Thanks for saying what Reddit hated me for saying. Well, like I said, if you liked this, you're fucking stupid. You're not watching this objectively. You are way too drunk off BLM Twitter politics. Who cares about Rorschach? It's not the 80s. The show that has the massive hate boner for Rorschach. Literally. It's like, man, we don't care about Rorschach. You know, who even cares? Blue Fire, $5. Yonder Dev being confirmed. Groomer comes as no surprise to anyone. I'm even less surprised came out before his shitty game was completed. It is funny. It is very funny. Didn't this get canceled, then brought back only to get canceled again? Sort of. They announced it was a miniseries. Then towards the end, they said, we're going to try to stretch it into a full show. And then right after it ended, it got canceled. March 2 is taking credit undermines the entire alien false flag. Literally. No one was supposed to know. That's why they killed Rorschach. No one is supposed to know. Rorschach is bad for caring about the unjust killings of innocents. They try really hard to push the whole, well, he saved mankind. He saved mankind. Only at the very end, very end, did Silk Spectre, because she comes back. She's working for the FBI as a vigilante hunter and all that, and she gets sent to Tulsa. Does she go, you killed 3 million people, you're going to prison? And he's like, what? But I killed mankind. You know, it's like, I saved mankind. You know, you were all going to nuke each other. And she just goes, yeah, you kept saying the end is nigh, but nothing ever fucking happened. Garrett Grant for $2. Pity bucks for watching that trash, my nigga. I know. Rorschach was the best character in Watchmen. If you want a comic that's nothing but Rorschach, read the question. Yeah, because Rorschach is based off the question. It's more commie bullshit of the greater good. Yeah, and he ends up, they have Ozymandias repeat basically the same idea of what he did before, where it's summoning a giant squid, only it's a bunch of little squids that are frozen, and they're sent down, and because they're frozen, they're able to pelt everything and kill everything in a radius, except for the main character chick, who just puts a fucking, like, military crate over her head and is able to walk through it just fine, and other people in the crowd are able to walk through it just fine, even though one lady had a fucking squid go through her hand. So the squids are hard enough to go through your fucking hand and leave a hole, but it's like everyone else in that area just kind of like got, you know, binged a little bit by the squids. Ugh. Very sure Eye Patch Wolf is liberal, and that's the problem. You know, the show was make or break depending on your politics. If you are left-leaning, you love the show, it's a masterpiece, how dare you question it? You know, Watchmen was always woke. That was the thing they puked out all the time. The problem is, if you take a step back and look at it without any sort of political bias, it's just fucking stupid. Seriously, why didn't the feds or even SWAT crack down if there was a group gunning after officers? That's literally what I kept saying over and over again. That is literally what I kept saying fucking over and over again. It's, you know, you have a white supremacy group that's able to kill police officers in multiple different precincts, I have to assume, and not just Tulsa, and no one ever fucking called the federals, the FBI, U.S. Marshals, fucking military, National Guard, anybody. Adrian, $5. Adrian, for $5. You should watch the Watchmen video by Macabre Storytelling. Bro goes in depth. Yeah. I think he's done one, yeah. But it's like, it's this thing where they go, well, we have to put all of our cops in masks to protect their identity so no one knows who they are. It's like, are you fucking stupid? Are you fucking stupid? People will still know you're a police officer. Unless everyone has to get side jobs, which, by the way, everyone's going to notice, hey, Bill, you don't really go to your job at the grocery store too often, but, man, I'm sure seeing this guy that looks a lot like you dressed as a cop, there was no thought put into the mask concept. No thought. Do you see the squid rain? The squid rain is explained. They explain where the squid rain comes from. That's like the least of the problems of the show. The problem is the fact that, as I say, the entire concept, the entire thesis of the show, which is cops have to wear masks to protect their identity, is not thought out at all. At all. There is less than zero thought put into it. It's this bullshit thing where they just wanted superhero cops. And the problem with that is the fact that you have to simultaneously believe the 7th Cavalry are just a bunch of dumb rednecks that are trailer trash. They're stupid. They're stinky. They're hillbillies. No one likes them. They don't have any friends. All they care about is racism. That thing. You have to believe all of that, along with the fact that they have enough resources to terrify cops, target them in their neighborhoods, pay off entire senators and politicians to leave them alone. Like, you have to simultaneously believe they're the dumbest people in the world and they're smarter than the main characters. There was no thought put into it. See, Brad Patch Wolf liking the show is very unsurprising, judging by my read on him. Well, that's what I mean. The only people that like it are politically biased. They believe it's good because they're told to think it's good. Fierce Hypothetical Black Q for $1. Potential improvement for the show could be having the comedian serve as an idol for the xenophobic group, the 7th Cavalry. Main character's exploration of Rorschach's file could add depth to the storyline, in my opinion. Just saying, that's not a bad idea, because the comedian was an open misanthrope. You know, he was an open, like, he fucking hated the world. He hated everybody. It was only when he realized the horror of what Ozymandias was going to do did he break. But what about Lube Man? Yeah, they never explained Lube Man. Like, basically, the whole thing with Watchmen is the executive producer is Damon Lindelof, who famously was involved with Lost and I think Prometheus too. He loves mystery boxes. He loves the J.J. Abrams mystery box thing. You give a hint early in the beginning, maybe bring it up once or twice, and then you have a big answer for it later on towards the end. So that's what Watchmen had a bunch of. It had a bunch of little mystery box elements to it. That's why if you watch the first episode, it seems like complete nonsense, when by the end of the show, if you kept up with it, a lot of things would make sense. Not everything, because they're just flat-out plot holes, but, you know, isn't the mystery box a shit writing tool? It's a fucking horrible writing tool, but they insist on it. $1 why do you watch that trash? What the hell? Here's some pain money. Because the guy paid me to. Based on your description, the 7th Cavalry is definitely funded by feds, which would have actually been, in, like, there were multiple opportunities they had to flesh the 7th Cavalry out to be legitimately interesting. One of the big things they bring up is the fact that the 7th Cavalry found the confession tape by Ozymandias. So they know Ozymandias made the president aware of what he did, and the president used that to boost up his political power, push a bunch of amendments like reparations. They call them Redfordations because Robert Redford became president instead of Ronald Reagan. And they feel as if they were betrayed by the American president because, holy fuck, this guy killed millions. What the hell are you doing? So right there, they had an opportunity to go, yes, the 7th Cavalry are completely right. This is the greatest reason to ever become a terrorist ever. The American president is totally okay with someone who killed millions. Where's Statutory 3 born again for $3? I can get feds not respecting lower-level cops, but even then they would want to help because if this group can kill cops indiscriminately across multiple states, that makes you think they can't kill guys wearing blue jackets and slacks. It's only in Oklahoma, and that's where you get the stupid-ass fucking shit, where Tulsa was a riot that people think was a massacre because one dude's recounting 7 years later that can't be proven. Well, the whole reason it started was like an equal exchange of gunfire between white and black, which killed more white people than black people. So the bad guys are angry for entirely valid reasons. Sounds about right coming from leftist writers. Not only is it valid, it's something to where they can't even come up with a good way to challenge it. They legitimately cannot come up with a good way to challenge the cavalry, so they just have them do dumbass, like, right after the speech where it's like, you know, this motherfucker betrayed America. He signed off on the death of millions in New York. Like, I was actually kind of like perking up where it's like, oh my God, the 7th Cavalry actually is like making sense here. They're actually talking in a way where it's like, I would be pissed off too. You know, I would be very pissed off if I found out my government killed, you know, thousands of people in New York with jet planes against towers. I mean, summoning a giant squid, but, you know, you know, the whole point is, you know, they actually make sense. You know, they make sense, and their anger is legitimate. You know, the president wants to seem like a good guy. Like, you can actually look back on it at some of the decisions that are made in the show from the president and how it affected the world building, and see it as like legitimately scummy. Like, he passed what, actual reparations. Like, actual reparations. Hunk for $2. Rorschach was based to murk pedos and bad guys. Rorschach was just based in general. But yeah, the whole thing is, he passed reparations to make up for the Tulsa Massacre. They insist the Tulsa Massacre is like the greatest tragedy against black people in American history, even though there were worse riots. There were way worse riots. And the thing is, knowing that this motherfucker was aware that millions of people were murdered by Ozymandias, and he was perfectly okay with it and didn't mention it at all, didn't even try to send somebody to kill him, that is legitimately betrayal. That is betrayal, and it's like, you are fucking joking, right? Like, holy shit, that is disgusting. You're trying to look like a saint here when you are aware of actual attempted genocide, something that traumatized millions of people and has left New York a ghost town ever since. I always wonder how Teleport the Giant Squid. It was the plot he was working on through the entire comic. You're saying Nixon was okay with Ozymandias wiping out Manhattan? No, Ozymandias made Robert Redford, who becomes president after Nixon, aware of it, and he gets pissed off that Robert Redford doesn't want to give him credit. Mosby on crack for $2. What about the elephant hospital room? That was just nonsense. Once again, mystery box nonsense. Like, ooh, what does the elephant mean? Fuck do I care? It's 9 episodes only. The show got canceled. Point of these scripts that you're a bad person for being someone who doesn't have a seething hatred of non-self-hating whites. Yeah. JK Productions $2. The president, murder of millions, a sound guy. Yeah, right. You have to remember that the people that like the show are completely okay with killing millions to save billions. Yeah, because that's a thing they bring up where Looking-Glass actually meets Ozymandias, and he is aware Ozymandias did what he did. So the fact that he didn't... The fact that Looking-Glass didn't fucking strangle Ozymandias right there and look him in the eye as he died, I actually argue is a bit of Flanderization. It's like, no. Like, Looking-Glass was fucked up by that for the rest of his life. He's a paranoid shut-in with multiple bomb shelters and routinely wears, like, tinfoil around his head to prevent psychic attacks. His life was ruined by that. So the idea that he meets the guy that did it and he's just like, oh, you stupid hayseed, I did it to save mankind. It's like, no, he would beat the motherfucker to death. Spaz, the space budget for $1. Would you read my Christian Furry ex-Berserk fan friend comic they made if I paid you? It's called Depravity Absolute. No. What's funny about Robert Redford becoming president is I'm pretty sure him and Trump are the same person. Juan Wick for $2. I bet Biden would like Ozymandias. Lol, Mao, even. I'm ashamed to admit it. I own this on Blu-ray, but I can't give it away and waste someone's time and sanity. It's fucking terrible. It's just... There was a scene where one of the cavalry is running up to a funeral. And he has a bomb vest on. He has a suicide jacket. And he grabs a sander and is like, I'll blow you all up. This is tied to my heart. I'll blow you all up if you don't, do something if you try to stop me or anything like that. Sorry, Loli. Tulsa wasn't even. My God, total dead 36, total 26 and 10 white dead. 1921 record, 150 black and 50 white dead, estimated by W.F. White. Now, there's a shitload of debate about that too this fucking day, dude. Like, the actual gunfight that kicked everything off, where they're at the courthouse, people still debate those numbers to this day. So making such defined judgment on it, nah. And especially if it's being used as, like, political propaganda. No, you look at it with a grain of salt. It's like, no, you have to show me every fucking name on that list before I believe you. Because if you're going to use it to legitimately push the idea of, like, reparations and punishing a race, you have to know exactly what you're fucking talking about. My question in the first episode, why the police lady was teaching cooking in elementary? Because they have to have double lives. Technically, none of the people who will work for the police are working for the police. Because, remember, we have to do it for your safety. It's a thing that pops up all the time, even though it makes no sense. It makes no sense. Being a detective is one of the most time-consuming jobs in the world. It's why so many police officers have failed marriages, because it's something you can never really turn off. You are always on call, because what if something comes up even when you're sleeping? That kind of thing. From Oklahoma, lived in Tulsa. They have changed a lot of facts about the riots over the last 20 years. That's what I mean. There is a political angle to make the riot sound as bad as humanly possible. That's why I'm so skeptical about it. Where it's like, listen, if you're using this for political propaganda, it really, really matters that we get our facts straight. Was it worth it even if you plan on tearing it apart? There is aspects I want to talk about where I stated. So to bring it back to the funeral thing is one of those where there are scenes that are added in that in retrospect mean fucking nothing. And I mean nothing. The funeral, Don Johnson, who played the chief of police, is dead, and they're holding a funeral for him. And one of the 7th Cavalry runs up with a suicide vest, grabs the senator of the state, and is like, "I'm going to blow you all up if you fuck with me," that kind of thing. And the thing is, when they kill him, the main chick, Angela, that's her name, drags the guy's body over to the grave with the vest still beeping. It's the longest fucking suicide vest ever. Where, like, you would assume once his heartbeat stopped after he was shot in the fucking head, boom, he would just explode. But she has enough time to drag him over to the grave, kick him in, and then kick the coffin with her boss's body in it on top of it to shield the explosion. And it was one of those where I was literally rubbing my fucking head going, why? You know, I'm not one of those where I question a lot of logic and action shit. Because action shit's meant to be spectacle. It is meant to be spectacle. It's meant to be fun. Yeah, you have your dumb cliches, but that's part and parcel with the genre. Watchmen avoided a lot of really dumb cliches on purpose, because the entire point was, what if superheroes were real? What if superheroes had to deal with human issues? Human bias, politics, you had to deal with institutions. That was the entire point of Watchmen. So seeing this shit where a lady's dragging a fucking guy with a suicide vest closer to a grave to toss him in, and then fucking toss her boss's coffin on top of it to blow it up, and completely destroys his body, by the way, I was like, holy fuck, are you, like, everyone in the department will be looking at you and going, are you fucking stupid? Are you fucking stupid? And they later revealed that the feds were planning on actually exhuming her boss's body, like gonna dig him up the day after the funeral. So right there, she should be arrested for destroying evidence, because that's a federal case. And they play it off as like, it's no big deal. It's like, she blew up her boss for no fucking reason. And it's a thing where you later find out there was no reason for that terrorist guy to even fucking be there. Like, there was literally no reason for that terrorist guy to be there. The fucking state senator was in league with the 7th Cavalry. Her boss, Don Johnson, was in league with the 7th Cavalry. This sounds like an awesome comment if he wasn't in the show. No, it is legitimately annoying. It's just irritating. Jeremy Irons ate as much scenery as in D&D. Jeremy Irons, he was the most interesting. Him and Looking Glass were the most interesting, and in a better show, they could have been great. But they don't know what they want to do with Ozymandias. They first set him up, and I thought it was legitimately kind of interesting. It's like, oh, okay. As punishment for what he did, Dr. Manhattan put him on a manor on Europa that he built and turned it into basically this compound. And at first, Ozymandias thought he got like the ultimate prize, where it's like, ooh, I get my own land, I get these clone servants, I get to basically be a god of who worship me, it'd be great. But after some number of years, he's losing his fucking mind, and he realizes, I can't leave, I'm stuck in this compound. So he's devolving and getting more crazy and ridiculous with his antics. I thought that was interesting. It's like, oh, take this very egotistical guy and play his god complex against himself. That's cool. That's interesting. Even when they had him do shit like fart in the middle of his trial, he's not taking it seriously because none of this is real. It's like none of you people are real. You are all clones that were made up to entertain me, but I'm not having fun anymore. This sucks. It sounds like you're using IQ points, putting out all these plot holes, filled writing points, waste of data is what it is. Yeah. Didn't they also make Dr. Manhattan black in the show? Yes. Yeah, literally, just to be like, well, Dr. Manhattan, the guy who's worshipped as a god, he's black now. Take that, racist. Once again, feeding into the downright racist vibe I had with the show, where it wants to simp for black people so hard, and I mean so hard, that it goes right back around to feeling like a cartoon. A downright childish cartoon. He also died to a gunshot. Worse than that. So, Dr. Manhattan can affect atoms. He is literally a god. The entire point of the story of the original Watchmen is the fact that he is losing touch with his humanity. He is so powerful and above mankind that he lives in the past, present, and future all at once. He is a puppet that can see his own strings. You know? That's the entire point. And just the fact that he started losing faith in mankind was enough to spark off a legitimately intense series of events that almost ended with the world being destroyed. My friend said the only good thing about the show is the soundtrack by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. The soundtrack is legitimately good. That's what pisses me off the most about the show. There are legitimately good elements. It's the technicals are done well, except the Dr. Manhattan effects. Those look like dog shit. But everything else, the way it's framed, the way everything is shot, the way it looks, the music, the soundtrack, it's fucking good. And that's what pisses me off. They could get it right if they wanted to, but they chose not to. You know, it feels resentful and spiteful. What about the flashback moments with the Minutemen? Those are fucking pointless and stupid. They make a big deal that Angela's granddad is Hooded Justice, and Hooded Justice was a fucking nobody background character in the comic. And they try to be like, no, but he's the one that started the Minutemen. He's the one that gave a shit. And it's like, it's fucking nothing. It's every black cop in, like, period before modern era story ever. It's, no one takes me seriously because I'm black. I'm the only one that wants to look at a conspiracy. And it's like, who gives a shit? Gold Spurs Astounding for $2. Round out the show, won 11 enemies. What a joke. Yeah, seriously, what a fucking joke. Hooded Justice was gay. He was bi. The show makes it to where he's bi. And the scene where he's fucking a dude up the ass is literally pointless. It is completely pointless. Like, the guy he's having sex with is one of the founders of the Minutemen, who comes to him to recruit him and is like, hey, because it's the 1940s, nobody's going to take a black superhero seriously. Paint your face white and never take off your mask. You know, just to be safe here. So, Vimping Games for $5. Do yourself a favor and go watch Bullet Train to cleanse yourself. I do like Bullet Train a lot. That one's good. Nora Vanguard, $5. I haven't finished it yet, but in Quentin's vid on Watchmen, he compares Rorschach to white mass murderers like Rittenhouse. Yeah, because as stated, they already decided they liked it before they even watched it. Like, they are not analyzing the show. They are just looking for current thing talking points to mention in order to justify, yes, this totally deserves 11 Emmys and 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's fucking bullshit. It's a lie. It is a lie. You know, the entire thing is the show was praised because BLM. The show was praised because, yes, white people are in fact responsible for every problem in the world. You know, black people, do you know that the only reason there are black riots is because the KKK built a racist projector that brainwashes black people to kill each other? That is an actual plot point in the show, and it is dropped. It is dropped. The conspiracy that Hooded Justice stumbles into is that all the riots that were going on in Harlem, because famously Harlem has had some pretty dangerous riots, were all caused by the KKK, and specifically a group of the KKK known as the Cyclops, building a film projector that they put into movie theaters that will manipulate black people into becoming violent and kill each other in riots. This is an actual plot point in the show. I am not exaggerating. And when Hooded Justice tells the other Minutemen about this, we're supposed to be angry that they didn't believe him. Even though, once again, the whole thing with Watchmen is that comic book logic is not a thing. Comic book logic in Watchmen is not really a thing. The story is very grounded. It's grim. It's depressing. Dr. Manhattan having superpowers changes world history. That's the point of his character. So when someone calls you up on the phone and says, there's a brainwashing plot to make black people riot in Harlem, and I think it's the KKK building film projectors to make people attack each other, that would be the point where someone would go, you are fucking crazy. You are fucking crazy. Someone should put up a title on a cinema scene and say, this is what BLM actually believes. That would be a very good edit. That would be a very good edit, because it's like, Yeah, you have heroes dying because their cape gets caught in a door, for fuck's sake. Literally. Like, they address the fact that superhero costumes are stupid and get people killed. So, them going like, oh, they should have believed Hooded Justice. He was right. It's like, why would they? It's not just because he's black. It's the fact of, like, you're just calling this guy up and going, oh my god, the KKK are brainwashing people to commit violent crimes. Of course they'd be like, are you fucking schizophrenic? What is wrong with you? It's ironic how the show wouldn't be made a year later because the narrative would become cops and black people are mortal enemies. They addressed that, actually. Hooded Justice's wife, who's like this major fucking, like, legitimately racist bitch, keeps calling him an Uncle Tom for becoming a fucking police officer. It's like, oh, well, all they want you to do is protect white people. They don't care about you. And I literally paused it and ranted to myself where it's like, you don't become a police officer because you want to protect your people. You become a police officer because you don't give a shit about, fucking race or anything like that. You do it because you're upholding the law. Because the law is what protects people, and it's better for everybody that you're blind about it. I don't give a shit if I have to save a white kid or a black kid or a black kid. It's wrong to kidnap a kid. That kind of thing. It's like, just be a good fucking person. Hey, there's a guy named Alejandro, the time-traveling pedophile, and he's a federal asset and goes back in time to watch child versions of his opponents on, you are fucking crazy? Yeah, literally, it's something like that where it's like, of course they're not going to believe you. You need hard proof. And then it comes back later where Hooded Justice, who's revealed to be Angela's grandfather, brainwashes Don Johnson, the police captain, into killing himself because Don Johnson's working with the conspiracy. And then they completely drop that plot point. It is literally dropped for the rest of the show. I claimed homosexual erasure for making the Hooded Justice bisexual, nigga. What's worse than that, it's pointless. The guy he has sex with never comes up again. Never. It's so out of left field. It's for a scene. It is literally a single scene, and then they drop it. The film protector thing just sounds like the personal racism field skits post about telepathic white people. That's exactly what it feels like. This is what I mean by the film. The show is racist as hell. It legitimately feels racist because it's telling black people, yes, there totally are white people that will brainwash you into committing violence, and that's why there's been so many black riots. It's like, are you fucking like, oh my god, what the hell is wrong with you? Sounds like an easy grab for ESG points. The thing is, this was before ESG was really a thing. It was 2019. I mean, maybe it was before we were just aware of it, but you get my point. Guys, r/atheism built overhead lights to make priests fuck kids. You have to believe me. Marshall $2. Hey, Lolly, DM'd you something on Discord. Consider it. Let me see real quick. The show is literally Orange Man bad. That's the thing. It never brings up Trump. It is purely just, hey, white people, am I right? Oh, yeah. Marshall just, sent me the schizo post. Yeah, it is an actual believed thing among certain crazy schizophrenics that, white people will telepathically make black people violent. At least that's that is a shit post that's been going around. And the fact that the show references it does genuinely make me go, how much of this is meant to be taken seriously? Because that was a vibe that really made me, that kept popping up in my head over and over and over again with the show. It feels like there was a mixture of people who legitimately understood Watchmen and knew about it and could take it apart. And then there were others who fucking hated everything about it. Every single thing about Watchmen. Because the final episode, you had the actual main bad guy chick who is Vite's daughter. Yes, Ozymandias has a daughter because as one of his cleaning ladies shot a literal turkey baster of his semen up inside of herself to get pregnant. And she's like, you're the one who summoned a giant squid and saved mankind. And the way they just say it over and over again, it sounds mocking. It legitimately sounds mocking. Like they're trying to go like, this is so fucking ridiculous. Adrian $50, you want to make a group and play Ready or Not? No, I got a plan. Are you telling me there are people who think I'm a wizard? White people telepathically make people violent. Goku, that is retarded. Yeah, literally. Kamen Rider Black Sun's basically this for Tokusatsu. Yeah, they stole that from Hannibal. They should Tariq Nasheed direct the show. At least to be funny. Finally, the Democrats created the KKK and they bombed Black Wall Street in Tulsa. The two good things I can say is the visual style of the Dream black and white to color shift is good, and the MC's costume is all right. I don't like any of their costumes. They feel extremely lazy. The cops in mask concept never justifies itself, and they insist on it. It makes it even worse when you get to the Sanders big plot, the 7th Cavalry's whole evil plot, which they literally retcon. They retcon it, I think, purely because they stepped back and thought, that is fucking stupid. And basically, the 7th Cavalry's plot was they wanted to put cops in masks because then they can control both sides. That's literally the way they word it. If cops are in masks, then they can have both people in the cavalry and people in the police department. And I that was another case where I paused it. I leaned back and I was like, what the hell are you talking about, control both sides? Like, why would you need cops in masks to do that? Already the anonymity thing just amounts to no one ever checks, you know? Because the whole thing with the anonymity is that is impossible to work in like a grounded law enforcement setting, because how do you get payroll? How do you get, insurance? How do you get like the basic things that are needed to make a business work? Especially law enforcement, where you have to put in so much information about yourself because they have to find out, okay, did you input this piece of evidence right? Did you get your report right? That kind of thing. Do you write down your superhero name? Because what if a suspect sues you for, I don't know, excessive violence? If they sue you for excessive violence and the piece of evidence that you signed in is written with your dumbass superhero name, they're going to go, are you fucking joking? They can legitimately take that to Supreme Court. They established the fact Oklahoma is the only state pushing the superhero thing. Even then, they only mentioned Tulsa. So we're supposed to believe this only is a thing in Tulsa. What if someone's arrested just outside Tulsa and takes it up to the state Supreme Court? Oh, state Supreme Court told me to go fuck myself because this is a thing in Tulsa. Then they take it to national Supreme Court. Yeah. And the thing is, me saying this is not... I'm not asking for physics to be accurate in Spider-Man. You know what I mean? I understand that comic logic. The thing is, Watchmen specifically avoided comic book logic. It did not want to use comic book logic. These would be issues the comic would address because the comic did address them. Fierce Apathetic Black Q for $1. How the hell the Dr. Manhattan was race swapped to black, to Angela as house husband, to 3 woke white children, when Angela's blood is women who don't need no children. They do explain that. So, Dr. Manhattan took the form of a dead body that Angela found because she used to work for the Vietnamese police. Because if you remember, in the Watchmen timeline, Vietnam was annexed into being a state for the United States. So she lived in Vietnam. She used to work as a police officer over there. And when she met Dr. Manhattan and wanted to live with him, she showed him a corpse that he could take the form of as a disguise. Very contrived, very stupid, because the reason Dr. Manhattan fucked up all his relationships is because he didn't care to not be Dr. Manhattan. He was once again so above humanity, he didn't think it mattered. He was like, why would I even try? So him going like, well, I need a disguise if we're going to be together. It's like, no, he wouldn't give a shit. It's like, all right, then yeah, see you. And the whole thing is also he doesn't have agency of his own. So it's like, it wouldn't be that, oh, okay, we can figure this out if we work together. It's like, no, this is going to happen at this time. Which the show does tease, but then they keep breaking that. They keep breaking that and having like, oh, well, he's having conversations with people in different areas at the same time. And it's like, Angela in the future says something and he repeats it to somebody in the past. It's like, nah, that's fucking contrived as hell. Because Manhattan in the comic never did that. Because that wasn't the way it worked with him. He was aware of the puppet strings, but he could never bend them. There was no way he could affect time like that. Yeah, didn't Manhattan basically live in the past, present, future, basically omniscient? Yeah, and they repeat the whole thing of like, oh, well, there's interference that makes me not know what's coming, and, oh, I can't see everything, that kind of shit, even though they basically break that. Reminder that ER legitimately was the only person who called the show trash, not pundit, and not a pundit, and the left still called him a racist. Yeah, I stated. Because the only people that like it agree with the politics. They are unironically seal clapping to every fucking point it makes. Even though if you take a step back and ask any question, it falls apart. You know? Yeah, it's one of those ideas that sound cool in your head until you say it out loud, then it sounds really, really dumb. Yeah. Because if you read the comic or watch the movie, you saw how Manhattan acted. You know? If he had the ability to say something from the future to the past, he would have seen shit coming. You know, he would have been able to tell people and affect everything, but he couldn't. You know, the only time he really does it is when he's talking with Silk Spectre and is like, "You're about to tell me you slept with Dan." You know, because he can see what's happening, but he can't change anything. It's going to happen. And the frustrating thing is the show kept going back and forth on that. Manhattan pulled a Jordan Peele Get Out. Yeah. Ugh. Even the comedian said they could have saved that Vietnamese woman from getting shot with his gun. Exactly. Like, and he just arbitrarily decides to come back to Vietnam after he abandons mankind. Is like, well, I want to meet somebody again. It's like, why? Jacob Patton, $5. Son Wolf also calling it terrible. Sadly, Nuke's channel so it's not available anymore. Yeah, I mean, as stated, people called it terrible, but they mainly emphasized the woke aspect of it, where it's like, oh, it's all about, you know, strong black female beating the shit out of white guys. Like, that was the least, that was the least issue I have with the fucking show. Because, I mean, at least that I can wrap up to, I can at least explain that to, well, Silk Spectre beat the shit out of people too, so fuck it, you know. Action shit is action shit. The problem is, it thought it was so smart when even the most basic, like, someone pointed out in the chat just a little bit ago, fucking cops are being targeted left and right to the point they need to dress up like idiots and pretend to be superheroes to protect themselves. But you have to call for permission to pull the gun out of your holster. You literally have to call in and go, I think I'm in danger, let me release my gun. So cops are in danger of being murdered every single step they take because the 7th Cavalry are fucking everywhere. I guess every fucking white person in the state of Oklahoma is a fucking white supremacist who's out to kill cops. And yet you still need to call for permission. You ever mentioned this? Yes, because it's stupid. Another stupid thing is right after that cop, why watch that garbage? A guy paid me to. Like, I didn't want to watch this. A guy paid me to because he wants the rage bait, like, ooh, I'm so mad thing. And I'm just like, it's not fun. It's fucking dumb. It is dumb in a way that is like, I truly believe anyone who says they liked it, they are lying. They are lying, or they only looked at the pretty colors and clapped whenever racism was on screen. That was it. That was actually something they tried to push. Yeah, exactly. That's why it was in the show. You know, the smart gun thing with the holsters, that was the only reason it was in the show, because when the show came out, that was the thing they were talking about. But the thing is, another thing to mention is, in that scene, after the cop tries to get the gun out of his holster, a dude blows him away with a fucking submachine gun anyway, like, empties an entire magazine into him point blank in his chest. You know, that kind of thing. Man, what'd you do to piss this guy off to watch you? It wasn't even that. It was, as stated, it was rage bait thing where it's like, ooh, it's so bad, it's gonna be so shit, and I'm just like, dude, I don't want to do rage bait shit. You know, I don't want to feed into this economy where any attention is good attention. Where that's why I held off on it for so long. Where it's like, dude, even if you make a video saying it's the worst thing ever, you're gonna have people who check it out of sheer curiosity, and because of that, you know. Because of that, you have this era of Hollywood. Just watch Slayers for fuck's sake. Dude, it's on the list. It's on the list. Be patient. Take your time. But the whole thing is, with Watchmen, you know, it came from that era where they were intentionally antagonizing people and saying, well, that thing you like was always bad, so how dare you like it? Spoopy Cappy for $2.98 fake monies. Watchmen 2019 sucks, you don't say. Yeah, it's fucking awful. And the fact it came out at a time where they were intentionally provoking people and getting angry at getting people angry to watch them. And that's why I keep mentioning the exploitation angle. This was legitimate exploitation. And yeah, to bring it back to the point where with the fucking the cop thing, because I don't want to get too distracted. But the cop gets an entire chest full of submachine gun ammo. Like, it's straight up, like, it's not even like his entire car gets sprayed up. You see a specific piece of his window that opens up, and he gets filled up with bullets. He somehow survives that. He survives long enough to get to a hospital with an entire chest full of ammo. That was another case of, like, dude, that's not what would happen. Why even keep him alive? Why even keep him alive? He would be dead. Vim Bing Games, $5. God help you if you decide to watch the Halo show and the pain's worse than you read the books. I don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch this shit. I keep making this very clear. I'm not being like performative, angry. Ooh, I'm so mad. I can't wait for the next episode to tear apart. I don't like doing this. But, you know, a guy paid me to, and I'm not going to just like throw it out the fucking window. And I'm specifically making the point that we shouldn't be. Please tell me you can bring up stop hate watching shit in your reviews. And you stop. That's what makes me mad. The fact that people have to be told over and over and over again, don't watch this shit. Bro got a whole chest full of 30 rounds of 9mm and lived. How? Exactly. And it's this thing where we've allowed this culture to where we'll get mad and we'll be like, ooh, that's so bad. And we'll tune on to the next episode anyway. You know, it's 2 minutes hate. You know, all we're doing is just throwing our fists in the air and getting the rage out and the piss and vinegar out, and we go right back to what's pissing us off anyway. Didn't you say you cover stuff for your luck? Exactly. I like covering stuff I like. It's just a guy made a request of it, and I'm not going to turn it down. And there is legitimately stuff to say, and I do want to bring up how we've allowed this mindset to creep in, where, you know, we know something will make us mad, we know something will piss us off, and we still watch it. How many people went into fucking Barbie expecting to hate it? You know? They went into Barbie going like, oh, this is going to be the worst thing ever. It's like, then why the fuck are you watching it? Oppenheimer came out literally the same week. Go watch that. Like, go watch anything else. Why? I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, to me, there's a difference between so bad it's good and rage bait. So bad it's good is your Tommy Wiseau's, your Cool Cat Saves the Kids, your you know, shit like that. Neil Breen, where it's made by people who legitimately tried, they just fucked up. You know what I mean? They tried, they just fucked up. And the difference is, you have something like Watchmen, where Watchmen was made specifically, and I do mean specifically, to piss people off. Fans of Watchmen, black people, white people. It is made to make every single person watching it angry. And for some reason, people praise that. Nor Vanguard for $1, I DM'd you something, plus Alt Shift X video on it was like, and then the show was a 10-minute long take on a pile of crap. He'd be like, oh, wow, it says so much about America and superheroes. It doesn't say anything. That's the problem I have with the show. It doesn't say anything. What does it say? Racism bad. Okay, good. So, what else are you saying beyond that? What else is there to say beyond racism bad? It's not saying anything. The importance of legacy? Well, there's not a legacy left. You ignore Rorschach. Dr. Manhattan's fucking dead. Fucking Night Owl, no one knows what happened to Night Owl. He's just fucking gone. And Silk Spectre's a Fed. There is no legacy left. The only one who had a legacy, quote-unquote, Ozymandias. And guess what? His fucking daughter died. And he is taken in and is now going to be put on trial and exposed as a piece of shit who murdered millions. Aram, for $5, the Halo show used plot points from several books just to retcon them and string along the audience so they can see Cortana get cucked by POW. Yeah, Halo show sucks. That's why I'm not watching it. Like, I'm not watching it. I don't want to watch Flavor of the Month, new thing to hate shit. That's why I got really annoyed when everyone kept talking about the Superman show. And we kept saying over and over again, if the Superman show is so bad, stop fucking watching it. Just stop fucking watching it. Why feed into this? You know? Why? You know, I only watch Watchmen because it's been a long enough period of time. Everyone's pretty much forgotten about it. And now it's like there is no risk that this would be brought back to life or stoke up a new wave of attention in order to give Watchmen a second season. You know, it is so dead that There is no risk that talking about Watchmen will bring it back. And we're able to look at it objectively and go, hey, this thing is over, and this is why it fucked up, and we should never let this happen again. In a just world, Damon Lindelof will have fucking killed his career, and no one will hire him ever. That's a good point, actually. Watchmen's long since dead and relevant. That's what I think. Like, if you need to watch something that pisses you off and you know will piss you off, at least wait for it long enough to spin on its grave. At the very least, do that. A lot of the anti-woke people don't have a market if they don't take the bait on specific things. And that's what I think is annoying, because it just leads into this cycle where all you're doing is watching negativity. You are just negative, and people are convinced it's the only thing to watch, and it's like, oh, everything's being fucking terrible now. It's all bad. You got to look on the positive, You got to look on the positive, and you got to realize that what you're looking at is just a shit example of something that if you look a bit further into, you can find a really, really great alternative, That's kind of the thing I really want to let people know about this. Like, I don't like hate watching because there's so much other stuff to watch that why would I want to piss myself off? And not in a so bad's good way where you can laugh at it. It legitimately, like, why would I watch it to be mad? To play a character? No, I don't want to do that because that's just condescending. Rotisserie for $10. At least with you reacting to the Channel Awesome movies, you're covering a rabbit hole and presenting lore people didn't know. But this is just solely to get pissed off. There's nothing to add. Exactly. Channel Awesome, there's a lot more to it. Channel Awesome movies are legitimately funny bad in their own way. They can be funny bad in their own way, and knowing about the people and their lore make them interesting. Something like Watchmen, it's like getting into an argument with Vito. You know what I mean? Like Vito Gasoldi, people who know him. It's getting into an argument with him. It's all about it's all about wasting your time, getting angry, and watching this person weasel around and go through 50 different fucking viewpoints without ever actually committing to any of them. And all you do is just feel nasty you even got involved in the first place. It's like, no, you starve it of attention. That's what you do. You just hold a middle finger up and say, fuck off, I'm not wasting time on you. Have you seen the trailers for Blood Dragon Tomb Raider Netflix series? They look okay. The only thing I hate watched was Predator 2018. That was only because it was a free watching movie night with the homies. We tore it apart and watched a better movie afterwards. And that's the problem. People like to hate watch because it makes them feel like a movie critic for a bit. And I understand it can be fun, and you get to feel like you're outsmarting the movie. But you can't do it all the time because eventually it does turn into, hey, what are we even accomplishing here? We're still keeping it alive in the zeitgeist, Blood Dragon looks awful. Yeah. AVGN movie is also another so bad it's fun example, especially with Doug Walker as a cameo. Probably be cringe, but when it comes to dealing with race in my stories, they usually make it where like a character's own race usually does more harm to them than others. That's at least a way to look at it. You're gonna watch live action One Piece? I have no interest. I'm not even a One Piece fan to begin with, and I can already tell come season 2 they're gonna start changing shit more and more. Speaking of hate watching, I'm gonna try watching Run to a Blood tomorrow. What do they change that might sway me from watching it? Only thing I saw that they were proud about changing was the race of the one chick. I think it was Annette. And when people called them out on it, not only did they change it, they outright made her like a female warrior too. When called out on it, they went, well, find something new to complain about, that kind of shit. And it's like, great. I like Netflix One Piece. As stated, I fully am of the belief that come season 2, you're going to get hit with the Netflixisms. It's like what they did with Witcher. First season's fine enough, despite some flaws. Then come season 2, it's immediately you get a fucking golf club to the jaw, and you're like, all right, this is why we don't trust Netflix. There's saying that goes the opposite of love isn't hatred, it's apathy, and apathy is all I feel to corner Hollywood. Yeah, that's why I don't watch a lot of this stuff, and it sounds like I'm whining about it, but I truly believe people are locked into not so much being slaves, but they've convinced themselves that they're brave warriors by still giving money to the companies that hate them. But they're giving money to it in a way that's mean. So I think the author won't let them. Spouska won't give a shit. Oda can't watch over them forever. He can't watch over them forever, and they are waiting. They are literally salivating for the chance to ruin it. Warriors Says the They're born again for $1. I know the DMC show is gonna piss me off. Fuck watching. I didn't even watch Castlevania season 4, and I like 3. Yeah, a lot of people said the exact same thing when they saw the DMC trailers. Like, how are they gonna fuck this one up? Damian Wooten for $10. I was watching the GTA trailer, laughing at how bad it is. The trilogy, laughing at how bad it is. They want you to pay $60 for a game inferior in every single way to even 20-year-old games. Yeah. You starve. You don't let them have money. The problem is these companies and these studios have found a way to make paying for even the smallest things so convenient that people won't think twice about it. Oh, well, I have some extra money. I can pirate this game. Or, oh, I can do this. It's just a little bit. That kind of thing. Because stuff like Amazon Prime, Netflix, Game Pass is so convenient. You don't think about it. And these companies that still do this shit and act very condescending and despise their people, they don't have to change their ways. They don't have to do anything. They're still getting money. I smell bleach. Yeah, that the dumbest fucking line. Like, the only episode I liked was episode 5. I liked episode 5 because it focused 100% on Looking Glass. It is a backstory dump for Looking Glass and his character, played by Tim Blake Nelson, who I love as an actor. Tim Blake Nelson and Don Johnson are two of my favorite actors. So seeing them in the show, I was fucking heartbroken. It's like they are running circles around everyone else and the script, and they needed to be in something better. And Tim Blake Nelson's character, Looking Glass, is legitimately interesting. As stated, he was a survivor of the New York attack, and he's been fucked up by it mentally to the point that he's basically a redneck version of Rorschach, where he's crazy and kind of broken, but he's still like scary, smart, and knows people. So I think it would have been legitimately awesome to make him the protagonist, where he has more of a stake in the matter, where it's like, hey, Ozymandias is involved with this, and they're trying to get Dr. Manhattan. Like, he has a personal stake in the entire conspiracy. Angela doesn't really. They had to contrive a reason for her to be involved, and she's fucking Dr. Manhattan. Like, fucking as in having sex with, not literally is. But the cliffhanger is basically says she's going to be Dr. Manhattan. Constant negativity turns people into another raging golden eagle, a rat who runs the minute any pushback occurs, ranting about how the West has fallen in between lollies with giant tits. I definitely think that kind of shows what I mean, where, if you indulge too much on this crap, you become a paranoid lunatic that will scream your head off at the slightest thing that goes against you, because you've seen too many cases of it to the point that you think that everyone's against you. You just become paranoid, and you lose the fact that the larger world doesn't really care about a lot of this. Good night, thanks for reaffirming my beliefs. Yeah. But, the larger world beyond the big companies, if you look at a lot of indie stuff, they don't really care about a lot of this. You can watch tons of movies that don't give a flying fuck about racism or anything like that, or at the very least explore it in a way that's more nuanced and actually gives a shit about the subject matter. Is Camilla the final nail in the coffin for Platinum? We do not know. Platinum's kind of always been on the rocks for a while. Getting hacked onto your watch and then scrambling for a scapegoat would do that to you. Any good to watch that is worth their time? There's tons of stuff. Fucking Mr. In-Between. Love that show. Better Call Saul was fantastic. There's tons of movies coming out. The guy who directed Lake Mungo is making a new movie. What's out now? It's in festivals, called Late Night with the Devil. There's a lot of really, really good media that's coming out that has nothing to do with any of this crap. And if you're willing to take a look, you can find plenty to watch and enjoy. And that's what makes you realize how stupid the woke shit is. Where it's like, this is so fucking ancillary, and you cut your own balls off being as childish as possible to appeal to the lowest common denominator, and for what? Voice in my head says they smell bleach. How screwed am I? RJ at least put his money where his mouth is and doesn't hate watch. Damn it. Doesn't hate watch, but he's just too black pill for me. Well, he's just too black-pilled in the sense of, like, when you're unironically telling people to play Chinese gotchas because Chinese gotchas don't have woke shit, it's like, okay, you're not understanding where all this is coming from. The woke shit is coming from China because a lot of the money that comes into ESG that gets fanned about is China. And a lot of this woke shit's anti-Japan, and China's famously anti-Japan. 2 million some odd CCP agents were confirmed to be spread across the Western world who are all loyal to China. A lot of this woke shit, they were pretty open about it back in the day. They flat out said, yeah, we had to make sensors to get to the Chinese market. Like, that's what a lot of the shit comes from. It comes from China. And that's what I mean by if you look in the right places, you're going to find people who don't give a single shit about any of this. That's on the writer's strike. Yeah, it's already over, which is funny. They couldn't even make it, like, what, 5 months? We review Last House on the Left, either movie really, the 2009 remake of the original 70s for October or next October. Both are pretty good as horror films. Last House on the Left is good. That is a good one to talk about. That is one to talk about. Last House on the Left is good. RG is no longer talking about playing Chinese gotcha now. He only played Japanese porn games only. Even then, it's one of those where it's like, dude, I just don't want to deal with that level of black pill. Like, oh, of course the West is fallen. It's like anything like that. I'm just like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, I am tired of doomerism. I am tired of performative outrage and guys get so mad at this thing. Like, no, fuck off. I don't want to do that. China's kicking the West out. They got the expertise and technology they wanted. China will find a way to fuck it up. They always do. They always find a way to fuck things up. That's on DMC. The game's not the reveal. I don't give two shits about the anime. A.D. Shankar's at the helm, which I don't like ever since the Apu thing, because he already showed who he was. And they didn't get Ruben Langdon as Dante. So it's like, oh, okay, right there. Right there. No. Ruben Langdon isn't Dante. There you go. Fucked up Dante. I followed RG for a long time. I remember him saying to play the gacha, but point out that even some Chinese gacha games are offering better stuff, sexy-wise women, because China is allowed to do it because they're Chinese companies. The American Western companies that they have financial ties with, they're not allowed to do that because how dare you look better than China? Like, that's what I mean. Everything is tied to China when you look into it. That's what pisses me off about that, because it's like, dude, they're paid by the same people. Phoenix Gaming for $5. There are a lot of good shows and series out there. I've been binging Jobless Reincarnation and The Bear. Never really expected to like both shows. Exactly. It's like there's tons of stuff to look if you look. Who they cast as Dante Idris Elba? No one knows. All you hear is yoo-hoo from a fight scene where he's doing shit. And Ruben Langdon said on Twitter, yeah, I never got a call for Dante. I'm not Dante. He's just a goomer. I wouldn't even go like that, because like I don't give a shit if you like anime porn or anything like that. I don't fucking care. The problem is, as stated, when you're going like, oh well, even Chinese gacha games have more attractive women. It's like because China has the past to do it. Because every single thing about Western politics in the last several decades has amounted to, you need to let the Eastern Bloc succeed. You need to feel guilty that the West ever won the Cold War. How dare you? You are terrible. You are evil. Take a step back and let the Eastern Bloc win. That is the entire thesis and ending of the Cold War. The commies got in and guilt tripped everyone into legitimately despising victory and winning. They've fetishized being a loser. That's why you have so many people who are mentally broken and porn addicts, because I was told I would be fulfilled even if I didn't make $1 million, and it turns out, yeah, that was a fucking lie. Damien Mouton for $5. It's funny, I actually try to look at the world through the eyes of an SJW. Their entire worldview does make no sense. Their ideas are unfounded. Well, it's not even just that. It's all about just moral nihilism. I will take what I want by manipulating other people because nothing matters and there's no consequences. That's how you get the mindset that leads to 2019 Watchmen. It's just horrible, miserable, bitter people. It is, how dare you ever want upward mobility? You are just a racist. Don't you know this thing that happened decades before you were even born is still affecting people to this day? Like, they do bring up the generational trauma thing where Looking Glass is in a support group for people who were affected by the attack on New York. And one of them was a guy who was like in his 20s, and he said, yeah, my mom was like pregnant with me when the attack happened, so, you know, she was so traumatized by it that, it changed her whole DNA and affected me. And it's like, that's not a thing. Oh my fucking God, shut up. Rotisserie for $2. Is Alan Moore commie? Yeah, he's an anarcho-commie. He's outright about it. He believes in, like, black magic shit. He believes in, he thinks he actually talked to John Constantine, a character he created, who is fictional and is a wizard. KGB played the long game well. Yes. Well, that's the thing that makes so much about the SJW shit frustrating. It literally amounts to, how dare you want to succeed? It has nothing to do with propping up black people. It has nothing to do with propping up X minority group. It has nothing to do with justice or eliminating power dynamics. It's about convincing the average Joe, how dare you want to succeed? How dare you want upward mobility? How dare you want your life to be better? You deserve to have people rob you on the side of the street. You deserve to have your daughter be raped because, people in the fucking 1910s, they beat up black people. Even though it's like, dude, I think this is all just an excuse for you to, establish this nightmarish control system where the poors have to live in the fucking mega cities and all the politicians get to live on the ranches, You have to put up with having less because you are somehow guilty of original sin. You are guilty of having original sin, and your betters, the aristocracy, the people who live in California in their big-ass mansions, they get to succeed. They get to eat all the good food. They get to, be the culture makers. That's why every award show now is just them jerking themselves off, where it's like, we did so much. We represented so many minority groups, and it's just masturbatory. The ideology is window dressing. Exactly. It's window dressing. It's pretending to be a good person when it's just elitist bigotry. I was told to be ashamed by a middle school teacher for not blindly supporting BLM. And look what happened with BLM. They used millions of dollars that was supposedly to help the ghetto, and they fucking bought mansions with it. And when told about it, it's like, well, I got to take care of my family. It's like, but nobody else can? You're a avowed Marxist. Marxists don't believe in the family dynamic. They believe in the worker. But they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. It's generations of snake oil salesmen that have manipulated the world into thinking it's a good thing to get ripped off. I had no idea Loli was so based. I am bitter about things you have no idea about. I'm going to start gorilla beating my chest in the street in this place of dominance. Not a single ghetto helped. No, because that was never the intention. It was this is what I mean once again by, if you like 2019 Watchmen and think it has something to say, you are stupid. You are the exact person that is manipulated to give money to BLM. You are an idiot that is getting fleeced, and you are too fucking arrogant to understand that's what's happening to you. Sir Urbanson for $2, black people hate Eric July for hustling like a rock star. In regards to Dick and Vito, because I know those are the guys you're talking about, it's just childish resentment. Vito wanted on Eric July's show. He wanted to do his usual thing of annoy a guy so much that he gets on his podcast, gets chill his shit, and Eric said no. It's like, fuck off, get out of here. So he has since created this blood vendetta where it's like, well, fuck you, I'm gonna ruin your comic. It's like, you're a fucking grown man in your 40s, dude. Jesus Christ. If they fix the ghetto, how could the race hustlers make money in the future? Exactly. We are living in 2019 Watchmen does have something to say, but what it says is bullshit. But it's like, we are living in our own cyberpunk dystopia. We are living in what's referred to as anarcho-tyrannism. At least certain areas of the country are. Anarcho-tyrannism is a government system in which you have an aristocracy, you have leaders, you have people who control everything, but they allow a mild amount of anarchy. Allow just enough for criminals to victimize people, allow just enough for crime to skyrocket, allow just enough for people to be scared and uncomfortable. Because scared and uncomfortable people will then run to the politicians for help, and those politicians will occasionally, maybe once in a blue moon, perform some crackdowns. And those crackdowns will make things better for a bit. They can start some revitalization projects in neighborhoods. And then after enough time has passed, it will sink into shit again, and you just repeat the cycle over and over and over again. You have the poors who have to live in the megacity towers, like in Dread, and then you have the aristocracy who live above those towers, who laugh at all the poor people because, ha ha ha, you will never touch me because I'm your better. Rotisserie, $5. Well, Griffith started spewing comedy stuff to Falconia. Honestly, get away with it, not gonna lie. Well, he's the Antichrist, so it would make sense. We need high crime to justify repealing the Second Amendment of Oy vey. That's the thing. The Oy vey shit, to me, is absolutely a Fed plan, you know? I don't buy into a lot of the divide and conquer shit where it's like, well, we need to go after the blacks. We need to go after the Jews. It's like, yeah, I'm wondering, why do you care so much about this? And you look into it, and without fail, it's always some guy who's like, oh, I'm Hitler lover 1488, and it's some motherfucker who works for the fucking FBI. It is there to make you sound crazy, you know? You have to remember, the CIA is one of the biggest information apparatuses on the planet and has made a fucking business of infiltrating countries, brewing up terror groups, and then collapsing governments. Why would you ever assume they wouldn't use that on your own people? So that's why whenever people bring up the Holocaust denialism shit, I flat out go, I don't care. I don't care. Where'd you learn this? History. Operation Northwoods. Look into that. The glow extremely bright. Exactly. When you pick up on enough pattern recognition, you really notice it. The first big one that piqued me in the whole, hey, don't trust people like Nick Fuentes and that circle was Richard Spencer. Richard Spencer was supposedly the leader of what's known as the alt-right. You know, the guys that LARP as Nazis and did the whole, like, oh, we're Tiki Torch March down fucking Virginia. Then you look into it, and Richard Spencer, who to anyone else is banned off the face of the earth. Look at what happened to some of the guys who worked for the Proud Boys. Sentenced into prison for shit they were not even physically at and could never participate in. But Richard Spencer is getting CNN interviews and getting talked with. The guy who hit the fat chick in Virginia, I think his name was James something, he gets sent to prison for 200 years, yet Richard Spencer, who led the fucking rally, isn't touched, and he's giving interviews to major news stations. That's a glowy. That's somebody who is there to act as the Pied Piper. You know, hey, you know, listen to me. I'll tell you everything you even wanted. I'll tell you everything, you know, work with me. And for some reason, he's not there when everyone gets raided. It's bullshit. Where is Statue of the Born Again for $1? Germany was trying to remove their Soviet statues, and everyone was saying, no, don't erase history, and I couldn't stop laughing so hard. Got into an argument with some of the colony Russia's Sims, hard to tell. Yeah. I mean, people are that stupid. They don't notice that we have just run to the opposite extreme. Hit a fat chick till he break his hand. No, he hit her with his car because that's the dude where he was trying to get out of the riot, and a bunch of people were trying to get in the way of his car. Zim does about $5. Lately, my response to the lefties has been the Krieg method, which is to fix bayonets and charge them down. Makes me sound like a Fed, though. It's not even that. I'm just like, you're never going to learn. Like, you will get into heated Twitter arguments with tears down your eyes telling me why it's okay for your wife's boyfriend to sell your son into sex slavery. You will never learn. You will never understand that this is bad and you do not have to live like this and there is something better. Because you are so broken and convinced that you deserve your punishment, quote unquote. You deserve this. This is the life that you need because you grew up white and therefore disgusting. It's like I have no patience for this, you know? I have no patience on somebody that fetishizes their own misery. Dineska for 5 fake monies. Hello from the Caribbean, Guadalupe. Good sir. I heard of you from a super chat recommending you in Synthetic Man's last live. Yeah, I call Synthetic Man a homo on multiple occasions because he gets all his opinions from V, and V is a terrible board, shitty board, stinky board. Wolfire 54 $2. You still convinced Andrew Tate's a Fed? Yes, he is just the newest one. Like it's a thing where you know the meme where it's like, oh, once you have enough training, you won't even need to learn. You won't even need to check the early life section. I'm with that, but with guys claiming to be the new figure of the right wing. It's like, no, you're a fucking Fed. You're a fucking Fed. You're a fucking Fed because here you are repeating a lot of the same points. Like Matt Walsh will talk about like, well, a girl when she's 15 is at her peak fertile years. When everyone's saying, hey, it's really fucked up that teachers want to teach porn to kids. You know, make the side that's outraged about porn in schools look like a bunch of pedophiles because then everyone shuts up about the argument and goes away. It's like I grow weary of that. I grow weary of that, and I no longer have patience. And I'm just like, dude, I'm not playing this fucking game anymore. It's like, I don't give a shit. You know? Everyone wants to jerk themselves off and dance with their fucking minstrel costumes and do all this crap. Meanwhile, no one ever just wants to fucking admit what's happening. It's been a long time since you've done a chat stream. Like an hour and a half, yeah. I expect you to like the guy. I stayed V Contrarian. Like, I think Cyberpunk is a good game. I've been enjoying Cyberpunk a lot. I don't want to hate everything. Okay. This is loud as hell, so give me a sec. I'll keep it a little bit. There we go. Synthetic Man annoyed me in his RE4 review because he took the Cropecat video seriously, even though it was proven he made the remake sound worse. Yeah, I mean, I played the fucking remake. I like the remake. Holocaust deniers, the slur use signs, any questioning of the details, the way to shame people who take the time to read history instead of being told. I don't give a fuck about the argument. I don't give a fuck about the argument because I've never seen it. I have never, ever, ever seen it end well for somebody. The minute it's even pointed out that you question details about the Holocaust, you are depersoned. You know, they ruin your career, take you down, block you from everything. I don't give a shit for falling for that bait. You know, I don't care that you think you're fighting for the truth because at the moment, it is a trap. It is a trap to get you. So I'm not playing that game. Plus, a lot of it comes down to, well, the commies could do it, so... The problem with politicians is that they're in it for the money, not for helping people. Well, they've always been like that. The show is so exploitive of the BLM time period. So few people crapped on Watchmen. As a fan of the original comic, it bothered me. Appreciate the rant. Yeah, it's disgusting. I legitimately believe it is a racist show towards everybody, especially black people. Like, it is the most keys dangling in your face shit ever. Cyberpunk 2077 may be considered the BLM perspective. So I have Phantom Liberty so far. I finished the campaign. I've still not gotten to Phantom Liberty. I am in the middle of working my way up towards it. I'm in Act 2 and I'm overpowered as fuck, but I still want to go all the way there. Maybe my bro read Gigant. Now we unironically call the chick a Mary Sue. Also complains about Persona fan servers. How badly should I be his ass for it? Just stop talking to this motherfucker. It's like, dude, you don't want to enjoy anything. You're a fucking fag. Like, all you do, you have that checklist of everything that makes you mad and is problematic. It's like, it's fucking fetish, okay? It's a fucking fetish story made by a pervert, okay? It's like, I'm tired of current thing. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. It's like, oh, well, it's this, it's that. It's like, who gives a shit? Alright, should pop up. There we go. Okay. So you guys can hear it, right? And he's talking about his actual brother? Yeah, stop talking to him. It's like, dude, you don't fucking enjoy anything. Cyberpunk was a bit of a steamy shit at launch, but evolved into something great. Yeah, and I agree the launch was shit, but I definitely think that people overhyped a lot of the issues were, and they were talking about promises that were never even made. Alright. Yeah, we're playing Hedon. Hedon is a very good game. It is very, very good. It is a lot of fun. It is very, very good. So we will play it. So this was literally... that was loud. So, people... trying to find the way to word it. You remember how Helltaker was made by a guy who really just wanted more art for his OCs, and I'm not even kidding. Helltaker was made by a dude who just wanted more like fan art of his OCs. This is very similar. This is made by a guy called Zan, Z-A-N, who made an orc waifu called Zan. This is the chick you're playing as. Oh, they completely changed this up. And in his quest for more for more porn of his character, made an entire boomer shooter about it, and it's legitimately one of the best boomer shooters to come out in a while. Okay. So we're not picking up enough speed. Yeah, there we go. And yes, famously, there is a picture of Zandt with a massive horse cock, where he did a pic where she's Fuda. The game, I don't think she is. I think they make jokes about it, but it's never confirmed, because even he knows, like, hey, that'll turn a lot of people off. Shiki West for $2, which anime studio you think is worthy for Berserk? Studio 4C didn't do a bad job, just give them enough money to do everything, because they actually wanted to do everything. They straight up said they wanted to do Wild. What's your thought on Scott Pilgrim? Also, do you think it ruined a generation of women? I was never super into Scott Pilgrim. I know people liked it a lot, but I just never got really into it. So is the rant over? No. We're not going to click away from it just yet. Not just yet. There's still elements I do want to talk about, because as stated, the problem I had with 2019 Watchmen is the fact that it was so mindless about its biggest plot point, which is cops have to wear masks. They never properly explain why that works. All they say is it works. It works. Like, why? Why would it work? Of course, you find out that it's part of the main bad guy's like plot, but you would think that you would see a spike in crime. Like, ooh, cops are terrified. You know, cops are terrified. They're on the back foot. You know, they can't police anything properly because they have to constantly be hidden. You know. You're not even allowed to take your mask off in the fucking police station, meaning they don't even trust each other. So how would that ever lead to proper policing in any way, shape, and or form? Zachary Record for $5. A lot of Cyberpunk launch angst was crying that E3 trailer wasn't 100% reality, that and trying to make it work on last gen. Yeah, that was a lot of it. There we go. At least it died after one season, never to return like Netflix Bebop. That is true. It died and is pretty much dead and buried. I say that's why I'm more open to talking about it and making a video on it, because I didn't want to feed into like ironic hate watch views where it's like, ooh, but it can still come back because so many people hate watched it. I hate that shit. Samurai Knight, $5. I agree on everything West as well. However, I also agree on cutting ties and not paying the companies who basically go full woke like Disney and all. Yes. Don't give them money. Don't watch their shit. You know, there's a lot. You don't have to choose. You don't have to choose between giving Disney money and giving an indie studio money. It does not have to be that. Returns to $2. It's TheAlmightyLoli, you fucker. Yeah, right. Marquis Scriptive $2. The mask thing worked in Narcos. Narcos did it for a completely different reason. Like, the whole thing in Narcos was Pablo Escobar's nationwide cartel. He had a cartel so large that they had to resort to putting judges in masks. With Watchmen, it's a terror organization is able to get information on a police department and kill the officers. They never call in the feds. They never call in the military. The whole thing in Narcos with them putting the masks on everybody there is Pablo had guys in the Colombian military. So they didn't know who to trust. Every cop there could potentially kill the people trying to take down Pablo. Like Watchmen, they never explained that it got past a point where they needed to do this. They never ran to the FBI. They never ran to the National Guard. They never tried to do anything before resorting to masks. And that's what makes it so fucking stupid. His name was Pablo. Yeah, Pablo Escobar. How badly do they handle Rorschach? Oh, the whole thing with Rorschach wearing a mask, Rorschach's mask being the symbol, that is just them saying Rorschach is racist. Rorschach is racist, his fans are racist, you're all smelly incels for demanding the character be treated with respect. I mean, that's all it was for. They even have the FBI go, who even cares about Rorschach? It's not the 80s anymore. It's like, fuck you. The one man willing to say genocide happened. Fuck you. Oop. Yeah, I forgot about the platforming. Just get my super chat about Andrew Tate. Well, give me a sec. Gotta check Streamlabs, and I do not believe I did, but I'll make sure. Crashman for $3. Are you still doing the Watchmen video? I just want to see a hilariously bad show get torn a new one. I've seen people pretend to like it when it aired. That's what I mean. Like, there's too much of that. There's too much of, I want to see hilariously bad show get ripped apart. It's like, we got to wean ourselves out of that mindset. We got to find legitimately good stuff to watch as an alternative. Where's that 33 Born Again for $1? I knew exactly Andrew Tate was not who he said he was when I saw him wearing sunglasses in a darkened podcast studio on a YouTube short. Turns out I was right. He's a human trafficker. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, he's a fucking human trafficker. He's sleazy as hell. He ran to Romania because he got in trouble for human trafficking. The problem is they're trying to, prop him up as like, oh, but he's so dangerous. He's so subversive, He's the edgy guy. You don't want to follow him. Try to make him into be a fake rebel. There we go. What game is this? Hedon Bloodright. It's really fucking good. Finished watching the Human Condition trilogy by the director of Harikiri. It's very crucial to the role of Japan in World War II and some common apologies since the Prague is socialist. Yeah. You'll never get commies to ever be honest about the fucking effects of communism in the Soviet Union. I definitely think they expanded on the intro, because I don't remember it being this fleshed out. I think you just woke up in the cave in other versions. There we go. And this is the first episode, at least if I remember right. You gonna watch Saw 6? Maybe. I don't know. The Saw movies I had to be in a very, like, mindless, bloodletty mood for. Where it's like, I just want to watch shit. There we go. Yeah. Rorschach was fantastic. If they want to pin a potentially racist character, should have used the comedian. That's what everyone's saying. Use the comedian. He's the character where if they did it, no one would complain. But you know why they didn't? Because Rorschach was the fan favorite. It's why I keep saying over and over again. The entire fucking show is a fuck you to everyone. Everyone. It's a fuck you to Watchmen fans. It's a fuck you to... It's a fuck you to black people. It's a fuck you to white people. It's a fuck you to everyone. It's a childish tantrum thrown by people in California who think they're smarter than the rest of the world. That is literally the entire point behind it. What game is this? This is Hedon Bloodright. But yeah, that's what makes me so mad about it. It is a childish tantrum that was used to shit over a piece of work that will be remembered far longer than this piece of shit. And it resents it for that. It resents that it'll be forgotten and it's just a contract job. Yeah, the comedian was a bad dude. He was aggressively a bad dude. He was a fucking misanthropic, like, actually racist, actually sexist fucking serial killer. Well, serial killer. He was a hitman. So is Watchmen a bigger bastardization than the Boys adaptation? Oh yeah, by far. Boys adaptation is bad, but they could at least keep up the veneer for a season or two. Where it's like, no, we just want to be the fuck you to superhero stuff, It was able to kind of ride that before it just went full up its own ass. Watchmen from the get-go was a tantrum. It, from the get-go, was saying fuck you to everybody. Big Boy Clutch, $5. Have you seen Repo the Genetic Opera, and would you review it during Spooky Month? I have always been meaning to watch it, so I might, yeah. I do have kind of a list of stuff I want to talk about, but in all honesty, I might stretch Spooky Month into November as well, just to be able to cover more stuff. Because there's a lot of spooky movies I want to talk about. I recently found out about like a Japanese movie where it's basically their version of like Child's Play, where it's about a killer doll, and it's one of those. It's like this little shrine doll, and it has like a little red kimono and black hair and all that, and it kills people. But one of the images I saw that made me really want to watch it is there's a scene where this tiny little doll that's maybe about a bit smaller than like a kid is holding a chainsaw, but the chainsaw looks like it was specifically built for it. So this tiny little doll is holding a little chainsaw in its hands. And I saw that and I was like, that is the cutest fucking thing I've ever seen. I need to watch this movie. A tiny little evil doll with a tiny little chainsaw is trying to kill people. I fucking love that. Baby chainsaw. It was literally a little baby chainsaw. I fucking loved it. White supremacy line, Watchmen made me cringe bad. Oh, it's fucking awful. Like, Tim Blake Nelson is just a naturally great actor who has a very good way of speaking. He has that, like, authentic country twang to him. So a lot of his dialogue is very good, and you are actually invested in hearing what he has to say. Don Johnson's similar. I love Don Johnson as an actor. I think he's awesome. Miami Vice is cheesy as hell, but he's awesome in it. I love him in Brawl and Cell Block 99. I loved his little cameo in Drag Cross Concrete. Great actor. And seeing how wasted the two are for this piece of shit is just like, this is painful to watch. I gotta remember where to go. It's been a while since I played this. I might just jump up there. I was just trying to remember if there was anything I had to do before that. Yeah. There we go. There we go. Okay. Now we got a key. Have you seen the Continental yet? Is it out? Because I would like to see it. I actually think that'd be a lot of fun. I kind of like the lore around the Continental and all that. I like the Assassin Society, so it's like, ooh, I'm interested. The comic in HBO is literally a critique of fascism, white supremacy, and right-wing propaganda. Creators an anarchist. Yeah, you say that, but Rorschach was the most principled motherfucker in the entire comic. He was the one willing to say killing millions of people is wrong. So, if he's just supposed to be this right-wing caricature and is wrong, you're saying genocide's okay, which at that point, what makes you any different from the Nazis? 6 million peso man for $5. I wish the boys' show wasn't so toned down compared to the comics. The whole point of the story is to show how superheroes would act in real life. Well, hyper-reality, but yeah, it was supposed to show, like, people with this amount of power go fucking crazy. You need to have an equally crazy and violent way to counteract them. Doing a run on Pokemon ROM hack called Pokemon Insurgency. I have a favorite Pokemon because if you do and I encounter, I'll find it. I don't know too much about Pokemon. I only really played the older games, but I really like Charizard. I thought it was cool. And Pikachu. Everyone loves Pikachu. He's super cute. Have you watched Red or Ashita no Joe? Bits and pieces, but I do remember it was really fucking cool. Butcher with a crowbar is OP. Oh yeah, he's awesome. Need that. There's a chicken. Alright, I forgot. Okay. Even if you read the Watchmen wiki, the page discussing Rorschach is literally incredibly bitter compared to even the comedian and fight. Yeah, because that's it. Rorschach is the one that is openly right-wing. More flat out said he was a parody of The Question, because he had a lot of issues with Steve Ditko, and Steve Ditko was the creator of The Question. Another character who is very skeptical about the world around him and all that. And the thing is, when you read Watchmen, your alternative is saying Ozymandias is right and deserves to win, which at that point you are no different from the Nazis, because it is no bullshit saying millions of people should die for the greater good, which is the exact propaganda that the Nazis used. Oh yeah, and you can find like little bits of fan art and all that. A lot of it looks really cool. Mr. Skullface Garcia, $5. Did you hear about Henry Cavill's Warhammer 40k series he's making? I heard about that. I heard Chris Nolan is in the talks to do a series of James Bond movies that are period pieces and going to take place in the 1960s. I think that sounds really fucking cool if that's real, and I really want it to be. He had problems with objectivism and Randian politics. All the heroes are horrible people. They're horrible people, but the whole point of the ending of Watchmen is, you know, White had to do what he had to do to you know, save the world, the greater good and all that. And everyone goes along with it and agrees, yes, the greater good, this is the path to utopia. So even if Rorschach's a bad guy and he's like mentally unstable and all that, he was willing to stick by his principles and not betray who he was. So he's more respectable than everyone else. Everyone else is a fucking Nazi. Dr. Chud Hatton, millions must die. I'm trying to remember how to get through this. There we go. Never compromised, not even in the face of Armageddon. Exactly. Everyone liked him because he was willing to die to spread the truth, which is always something to respect. He was fighting against larger powers, that being Ozymandias and Dr. Manhattan, to get justice for people who were murdered. And trying to say that was a bad thing, and you should basically shoot the messenger because Rorschach was racist or right-wing, two separate things, might I add. You are a piece of shit who justifies genocide. You think you know better than the rest of the world. Even fucking Zack Snyder knew this. Even Zack Snyder knew that, and that's why he made Rorschach so respectable and cool in the movie. Wolfire 54, $2. Yeah, can you ever see anyone want to do a Conan movie? Well, I mean, they've done Conan before. You have the 80s ones, obviously. They had the remake with Jason Momoa. If they get the right guy to basically be the new flavor of the month hot guy hunk, yeah, I can absolutely see them trying to rob Conan again. So as Rorschach, he has a black and white view of the world, and his openly homophobic and racist views are all pieces of shit. Snyder had to water down his politics. But the thing is, even with those politics, Rorschach was right. It doesn't matter that he was racist or anything like that, because he was willing to get justice for everybody murdered in New York. Even black people, even people he despised. Because it was not their choice to die. Ozymandias made that for them. As much crap I can throw at DC Watchmen crossover event, at least gave screw you to Alan Moore. Yeah, because that's it. Everyone knew that. Oh yeah, here we go. Everyone knew that Ozymandias was a piece of shit and evil and deserved to be punished. Even the fucking show did, even though it kept going like, oh, but he was kind of right though. He was kind of right. He did unite the world. Then at the very end, they had fucking Silk Spectre go, "You killed 3 million people. You're going to prison." And then he tried to go like, oh, you're going to arrest the president too? And they're like, yeah, maybe we fucking will. So yeah, a lot of the lore to Hedon is pretty interesting. If you like really pulpy Conan the Barbarian style fantasy, you probably like this a lot, though, like tall Amazon women. There we go. Plus, whereas the other heroes more or less retired, Rorschach continued to be a hero despite him knowing he could be in big trouble. First shows principles of justice. Yeah, because the little girl was murdered. Well, not just because, but he saw stories like the little girl who was murdered and was like, I can't let this happen to people, you know. I can't let this happen and then pieces of shit like this motherfucker get away with it. Someone needs to punish them. And this is what the main character looks like. That is what Rorschach's entire philosophy was. It is evil deserves to be punished. You know, it's not just that you save the world, it's that you punish evil motherfuckers. Because if you don't, no one else will. And that's what makes Rorschach so endearing to a lot of people. Because everyone knows there's injustice and terrible things that happen, and no one can do a goddamn thing to stop it. So having the ability to go, fuck you, to even at least one of them, it's why the Punisher's popular. Because people love that. They love having a character that they can kind of insert themselves into and go, yeah, that's so fucking good. And I just type in random letters here because, yeah, fuck it. Snoo, yes. Reminder, the guy who made this game is a porn artist, so the women will look nice. As nice as, like, Doom-style boomer shooter looks can get. Is Rorschach's entire philosophy a thick demon lady? Yeah, there you go. Yeah. There we go. I could definitely see Rorschach and Punisher teaming up, which would be badass. Yeah, they would agree with each other. They would just flat out agree with each other. Okay, yeah. Now I'm remembering. I'm remembering bits and pieces. I talked about on Final Fantasy 14 stream, but a gay character I like is Leon from Fire Emblem. He's one of the many loves to be saved. Most people can't do anything that simple. Yeah, you got to give them motivations and have them be more than just I'm gay. They need to at least remind you of a human being, which I know sounds weird, but There's so many gay characters where they're written to be a fucking symbol. They're nothing. They don't actually exist. They are there because the scriptwriters demanded a gay character because they fetishize it or they want ESG money. It's the condescending key jangling, you know? It's like, ooh, well, you know, you like this, don't you? They remind you of you, right? It's like, fuck off. You know what? I don't read something like Berserk because Guts is straight and I identify with a straight guy. It's like, no, I read it because it's fucking compelling. Rorschach is Batman if Batman didn't believe in rehabilitation, not killing, or had right-wing views. He's Punisher. He's Punisher in the question. Because as stated, he was there as a fuck you to Steve Ditko. Ugh. Chicken. I'm not gonna hurt the chicken. I'll hurt these worms because they want to hurt the chicken. Now you read Berserk because you're a homo and want to get railed by Guts. Oh yeah, there's a whole bunch of lore to this. Like, surprising amount of lore to this that's actually pretty good. Because it's D&D style fantasy, but technology is just high enough to where you can get factories and guns. But not even like... It's not even like Arcanum Industrial Revolution style. It's still very much fantasy. They just have guns. Even Chainsaw Man's calling that behavior out. The main threat at the moment spreads consequentialist rhetoric and indoctrinates young people into a racist morality cult. Yeah. You know, it's a bad, toxic mindset. It is the mindset of a cult. You know, and that is something that Watchmen... As a story, I mentioned already that the politics of Watchmen, if you take it at face value, age very badly. Because the fall of the Berlin Wall and the end of the Cold War showed that the Soviet Union was nowhere near as powerful as they claimed they were. The reason why everyone thought nuclear Armageddon was going to happen was solely because... Oh yeah, I forgot how you get the pickaxe. Was solely because people legitimately believed that the USSR was that powerful they could destroy the world. And to be fair, they did have a shitload of nukes. The thing is, the Soviets never intended on using any of them, because mutually assured destruction. Who would blow up the fucking world over pettiness? You've had incidents where it got close, but a lot of those incidents amounted to they thought someone else already launched theirs. It was never an intentional, like, well, we're gonna fucking blow you up, motherfucker thing. No one would intentionally push the button. It always came down to a misunderstanding. You know, that's the whole thing behind it. And it all amounted to believing the Soviet Union was willing to do it if the wrong thing set them off. Ronald Reagan, even if you hate him, proved that they never would. They were never going to launch the nuke. Because why would they? The world would be cinder. Everyone would be dead. It'd be the end of human existence. You know... And a lot of the Soviet leaders were just corrupt shitbag Russians. They didn't want to die. They just wanted to drink their vodka, fuck their whores. They wanted to do all the things every politician does. So they would make a big game of it. They would peacock. They would send some military deployments in various regions. But they were never going to fucking nuke. And that's what makes the whole thing with Watchmen, where the heroes were convinced it was going to happen, all the more ironic. You know, they were never going to launch the button. Now, obviously, it is an alternate history, and you can get away with that. Where it's like, well, you know, maybe history has changed enough to where Russia would do it. But I'd argue no, because they lost Vietnam. It's even more blatant they wouldn't. They wouldn't even have the strength to strong-arm other countries. Like, no, they were a failed state, and they were going to collapse. Die, worms. XYZ Noon for $5 was less believable. Ozzy videotaping his play in detail, or cops agreeing to ask for permission to use their guns. Probably Ozymandias, because the cop asking for permission to use their gun thing is an actual talking point they use right now, and some police stations try to like talk about it as if it's a thing. But Ozymandias revealing what he did out of sheer ego, it's like, you are fucking stupid. Crashpin for $1. I don't want you to just devote your channel to hate watching. Main reason I follow your channel is the obscure good stuff you cover. I just haven't seen any good videos on HBO Watchmen besides ERs on episode 1. Crashman for $3. Are you still doing the Watchmen video? I just want to see the hilariously. Oh yeah, never mind. I already read that one. Yeah, I will do the video on it, and a large part of why I'm willing to, despite my bitching, despite my, hey, don't fucking feed this shit, is the fact that enough time has passed to where Watchmen's not coming out of the fucking grave. It's not coming out of the grave. When I rant about this shit of no hate watching, it's for stuff that's coming out now, and I'm seeing posts from people who are like, oh boy, the new episode of Thing We Hate comes out tomorrow, and it's like, do you hate this shit or do you love it? Because right now, you can't seem to fucking decide. You know, that's what I talk about. That's what I mean. You know, enough time has passed for HBO Watchmen that it's dead, it's in the ground, it choked on its own vomit, Jimi Hendrix style. It's safe to talk about it without risking, you know, endorsing it. Alright. I'm trying to remember where to go from here. What do you think of the Crow comic movie? I haven't read the comic in a while, but the movie was a lot of fun. Ozzy was narcissist, incredibly arrogant and stupid, glad he got humbled. That's the thing, all the stuff where it actually talked about his punishment, like being stuck in the manor, I liked that. People thought it was stupid, yeah, the fart joke was dumb. But seeing as he got everything he wanted and he's losing his fucking mind, that was good. It's like, yeah, you get to suffer in the hell that you created and you deserve. Yeah. Is V for Vendetta Moore's worst comic? V has a lot of really interesting ideas to it. The problem is, once again, when you know that Alan Moore genuinely thinks he's V, that's what makes it embarrassing. Rotisserie for $10. Hey Lolly, I wonder, do you think now that the God members each have their own dimensions, will they be summoned from their realms when the Bailet activates, or maybe it summons the idea of evil? We do not know. I'm very interested to find out, and I definitely think that there will be some dimension fuckery. Not so much dimension, but like astral realm fuckery going on. Because at the moment, it seems like Shrike is going to be in Falconia, and she's going to get in contact with Casca and maybe try to manipulate events there. And Guts is either going to run off on his own and fuck up his chance to talk with Rickert and all that, or he's going to go with the Baki Raka and maybe even learn from Master Daiba, because Master Daiba is a sorcerer in his own right who did not rely on Elfhelm for magic, so he's not affected by the destruction of Elfhelm. How to actually fight, you know? What is V for Vendetta? V for Vendetta was a dystopia comic written by Alan Moore, which talks about an alternate history, pretty much alternate history, I don't think it's really the future anymore, of England, which is controlled by basically a fascist dictatorship. They used a virus to terrify the population to give up all their rights to the government, and the government took over and has no intention of letting them go, and now it's a completely censorious state. V for Vendetta is not an alternate history now that I think about it. Yeah, V for Vendetta is basically just a power fantasy comic of what should be happening in England right now. But the idea behind it is you had two extremes for V for Vendetta. You had the fascist government that wanted to beat down people and take control forever, and the opposite of it was V, who was a psychotic anarchist. So you had this debate of, is anarchy the answer? Is, total control the answer? Is there a way to have a middle ground? There is a lot more to V for Vendetta than you would think. Yeah, everyone going like, oh, right, yeah, that did happen. It's like, yeah, exactly. It's like, V for Vendetta is not really science fiction anymore. V for Vendetta was a warning, not entertainment. Yes, but it also is still pretty stylized. I mean, V is a badass, and one man stands against the dictatorship and is able to set up all these terror attacks. Like, but I get what you mean. I totally get what you mean, though. Oh, right, yeah, it's over here. There we go. Yeah, right. I'm assuming you mean to control and fight with the dark armor. Yeah, berserker armor. Yeah. Because Daiba did seem to know about it, at least in the sense of he called it the Prana of Durga, which people in the comments explained as like, yeah, in Hindi that basically means he's wearing the skin of a god of war. It's like, okay, that's fucking sick. But yeah, he seems to be familiar with it and might have some tips. You know, he can learn more about the history of the armor and all that. Maybe unlock a blood memory like what the dwarf guy could do. Just to all his guts, but finally raises int stat with Daiba. I said the God Hand have their own dimension. Yeah, after Millennium Falcon War, they seem to have their own chunks of reality. Like, Slan has the horny dimension, Void's a big brain, Ubik is in a weird, like, Hieronymus Bosch painting of hell. And I don't remember what happened to Conrad. I think Conrad's just a bunch of rats now. Because that just leads right back here, okay. How do you personally want the next few chapters to go? I want them to stick with Guts and you know, live up to the cliffhanger here. Where it's like, okay, is Guts gonna fuck this up? Or the Kushin's gonna fuck this up? Is it going to fuck up? You know, like, I want them to stay where they're at now. Equilibrium is one of my favorite dystopian films, personally. I just like the control of emotion being control. It is one of those where, you know, the idea of controlling emotion and really what makes you human is one of those that's fascinating for a story to tinker with, because, you know, there's a lot you can do. Alright. Do you think that Griffith could be hit in the city because it's his realm and it's a demon can only be killed in their home thing? I don't think so. I think it's how Rickert sees Griffith. He didn't see Griffith as the Falcon of Light and the Savior or as a god hand. He saw him as a dude. That's what I think. You gotta break how you view Griffith down in your mind to where it's like, oh, he's not a god. He is just a man. Yeah, I forgot you can kick too. What role do you think Costco will have in the future, Berserk? I am curious about that. Only problem in Equilibrium is everyone showing emotion constantly. Black dude is literally laughing, having a fun time the whole movie. Yeah, they didn't really flesh out the idea too much. It was kind of riding off the back of Minority Report, which is another big dystopia movie. There we go. Fuck him up. Maybe it's because Ricker isn't branded. That'd be a little too simple. Because it showed that Guts was able to pull a hair off Griffith's head. So deep down, some part of him is able to hurt Griffith, just it's small. He has to find a way to train that. Do you think Salat will be able to put Roxas 6 feet under? I hope so. He was able to fuck him up pretty bad in the fight they had. I would explain why Griffith's constantly peacocking. Yeah, he wants people to view him as a god, so then he becomes a god. Because perception is a big thing in Berserk. Like, the whole thing with creatures being able to show up in the world is they fucked with the realms of reality, so now they are just real. You know, before you had to put power into the idea of them. I look forward to Spider-Man PS5. It looks fun. It looks fun. Oh shit. Just $2. Do you think Erica would be learning Kushin magic? I don't know about magic. She is tight with Daiba, so it's possible, and anyone can learn magic as long as they put time into it. And Erica is still pretty young. Just, I don't know, she seems like she works better as, like, sort of like a small engineer, kind of like with Rickert. I'm not against her learning magic, just, you know, it'd be one of those where I'd have to think about it. There we go. Pew pew. Yeah. Thanks to your old streams, I played Disco Elysium. It is a fantastic game. It is a fantastic game, and is another example of what I mean by you know, people will just praise something and go with the current thing opinion without really thinking about what that means. Like, you play Disco Elysium and there's some, like, downright violent, scathing critiques of communism in it. And you bring that up and the fucking commie fans who only played one route will go, oh, well, I can't believe you were so stupid. You couldn't even tell the game was making fun of you. It's like, I'm not sure the game's making fun of me, dude. There we go. Now I need to remember how to use... Okay, it's F. Erica used Goto's hammer to crush Griffith's balls. There you go. Alright. You actually do want to read the notes because they will just flat out tell you how to get through certain areas. I'm learning about mythologies lately. By far, Egyptian mythology and Hindu are my favorites. A lot of material and style for creative storytelling. They do have some really out there stuff that can be interesting and... yeah. Gods might be able to use the Bala to force the god hand to properly material in the realm or let them get to their level of the astral realm. That's not really how the Bala works. You don't use it, it uses you. But maybe it could work if they set it up right. I don't know. Try another boomer shooter named Cultic. You fight cultists like on RE4, but he plays a mute. Yeah, I saw that. It's basically a reboot of Blood, and it did look pretty fun. Boomer shooters are a fun genre. There's a lot of good ones coming out, even if I do think there's a little bit of an oversaturation, but I think that's purely because it's a popular market right now and everyone's trying to cash in on it. Yeah, we play Class of 09. Isn't that the like edgy fucking like barely scraped together visual novel that all the fucking streamers are playing right now? Where like they have like a mass shooting or something. It's basically it's trying to be like the Zoomer version of like Katawa Shoujo, where it's an irony visual novel. All right, got everything out of here, I think. Also, because in your new Berserk video, I discovered Arcanum OST and loved it. I really like the songs used in the video. Any more OSTs you recommend? Cyberpunk OST has been fucking amazing. I love all the music in it. Trying to think of what else. Hedon has a pretty great OST. There's actually a funny story with Hedon. Kind of talk about more about the game we're actually playing. Zon is a one-man development team, from what I understand. It's just him. So what he did was he licensed, like he literally like got the license for some songs. Like the song you heard in the beginning of the menu was "Sinking Ships" by Breathless or Breathless, I think it was called. That's the band. Pretty good band. Fun thrash metal band. Not really thrash metal, but fun metal band. A lot of energy and it's good stuff. And also rejected songs that were supposed to go on the original Deus Ex soundtrack. So there will be points where you'll have like techno music playing, and it's because it's Deus Ex music. I'm trying to remember where to go. Have you read Gachi Kuta? I have not. I've never heard of that. Does the way the demon view Guts affect him, like making him survive wounds he should not have? I hope not. I like the idea of Guts being just a man. He is just a man that through his own strength, his own power is able to fight and be such an excellent warrior. Them trying to explain how he gets so strong and is able to survive stuff, I never liked that. I don't need every detail to be explained. I am willing to accept stuff as over the top logic, because Berserk is a pretty over the top story in multiple parts. So it's like, hey, I don't need you to tell me how Guts is so strong. I just accept it, you know. Okay. Trying to remember. I heard of this one game called Chaos Legion. Sounds pretty interesting, though I never played it. I've never heard of it. Is it fun? Okay. It's supposed to be up here. You make like some alchemical thing. Okay, I heard a noise. What about OSTs that have string choir using orchestra like Bloodborne, Dark Souls? Those are also very good. It's all about how much production value they put into. I think this is it. Yeah, I think. Okay. We just walked straight past it. Okay, I'm an idiot. But yeah, you know, there's a lot of really good ones. Final Fantasy has some fucking amazing music. I just got here. What are you playing? We're playing Hedon, Hedon Bloodright. It is very, very fun. Very, very good. And yeah, as you can see, the levels usually have a pretty big part to them because this is kind of like a mixture of a bunch of different games. It's a mixture of Doom, what's that one game Mandalore covered where it's like the immersive sim in the underground society. But it's like that where you are kind of encouraged to look around at different stuff. Ever played Metal Hellsinger? Metal Hellsinger is really good, but I played it before I got my new GPU, so it didn't run the best. But maybe if I Hexen, yeah, no, Fatalis. It was Arx Fatalis. But I haven't played it since I got my new GPU, so I need to play it and see if it runs any better. It should, because it didn't run too bad when I had it. Just the graphics were kind of eh. But now they have a nice, pretty, 3050, I think it was. It should be nice. Damien Wood for $10. Finding out Cyberpunk says one thing and the world says the opposite. They keep saying how corporals are keeping you down where you're a multi-millionaire. Well, that's, gameplay stuff. And a lot of that came from V risking their life as a fucking solo, so not the best example to live by. Katao Shoujo is a proper multi-hour visual novel. Class of 09's a fairly short, edgy meme game that can be run in an afternoon. Yeah, that's what I expected. As stated, it was the Zoomer version of Katawa Shoujo, aka they didn't understand what made Katawa Shoujo genuinely interesting. Which is the fact that Katawa Shoujo is not ironic. It actually takes itself very seriously. Not today, Satan. Oh, fuck. So, to explain a bit more about Hedon, just for those that have never heard this game, as stated, I've already explained bits and pieces, like, it is D&D fantasy, but you have guns. The actual main story is the main character, Zandt, is a half-orc, half-demon, and she and her legion of orc friends are fucked over by some kind of sorceress. I think she's like a dark elf or something. Who made a pact with the demons to kill the orcs, because the orcs are really good at killing demons. And so Zandt is out for revenge to avenge her friends and kill the sorceress that screwed them all over. And you see the impact the war has had on the world. It is genuinely dark fantasy where there's a lot of like grim elements like slavery and genocides. Like it is genuinely like way more thought out than a game made by a guy who wanted his Fuda OC to get more art should be. It's not just an orc, but also a tiefling. Yeah, basically. They only ever call her a halfling though, because it's half orc, half demon. Lord Purpose for $1. What's sleeper hit you haven't covered in a video? Also, there are any plans to remaster old videos. I want to remaster my Perfect Blue one because I fucking love Perfect Blue. That is one of my favorite movies of all time. And the video I did, it was when I was super early in the channel, so there's a lot of shit where I look at it now and it's like, dude, I can barely hear myself fucking talk. Holy shit. So I want to go back and fix that. So I'll just flat out make like an hour-long video about it if necessary. Fuck. Oh shit. There we go. Been saving up to buy a gaming computer. What should I get? I'm not sure about exact specs. I fully admit I bought mine pre-built. I went to like rebuild or something because I'm not good with tech stuff. I'm just not. I have horrible luck when it comes to buying PC parts. So I just like fuck it. I'll just buy a pre-built. But yeah, you can look into that. You can look into building your own because that's how a lot of people get like really bargain ones where they can get something that can run shit better than a PS5 and it's like for $400 because they just know where to go to get the parts. But you know, that's up to you. Axie042 for $10. Pretty sure you've been asked this question, but do you think the DMC anime will be any good? I'm praying to God 80 doesn't mess it up like season 3 and 4 of Castlevania. I just don't know. Lord Commissar Augustus Van Tool for 10 fake monies. What's your opinion on Cyberpunk 2.0 update and DLC? I really like the update. It has made the game run so fucking smooth. Only now that I've put like 50 hours into the game since the update am I running into some bugs, and it's mainly textures breaking or there's a quest that might soft lock here and there, and I can just pop to the nearest autosave and it fixes it right there. But I say that's after putting like 50 hours into the fucking game. I really like the combat reworks. You actually have to work to make your quick hacks good. Some of the perks are just flat out useless now. I kind of miss some of the sexier ones where it's like, hey, you know, get this update, get this perk to quadruple your headshot damage in one fell swoop. It's like, ooh, that's fucking cool. Also, some systems are redundant. Clothing rarity does not fucking matter. You pick the stuff you think looks good, and then you burn everything else for component parts. But, you know, it is good. DLC, I have yet to get to Phantom Liberty. I'm in Act 2. I am right before you can play it, but I have not completed the quest line you need to get to it, because I've been working my way through others. Like, right now, I'm working through the river quest line where you're trying to find the serial killer. How about these devils? And yes, your shotgun is also a flamethrower. I miss Cold-Blooded. Cold-Blooded was a fun perk. There's a lot of fun perks that kind of feel fucked over. I really think net running kind of got hit the hardest because they completely got rid of the... You had the ability where you could break the enemy's network by just hacking into something like a camera or an enemy, and you could upload the demons, where it's like a debuff to the entire enemy faction, or something like that. Like you're raiding a compound like Maelstrom, you can upload a demon, and now every Maelstrom in that compound is fucked over by it. You know, I loved that system, but I admit it was a little broken. So now they've completely gotten rid of that, and now it's just the quick hacks. But they've worked up the quick hacks to be more of like a queue system where you can upload multiple quick hacks in a row, and that can mess stuff. That can stack, and they have different effects if you stack. Like if you put 2 short circuits on an enemy, it'll cause a big EMP blast that will hurt other enemies, which I thought was really cool. And I haven't even tinkered with all of them. Quick hacks are really strong pre 2.0. Now it's still pretty strong with Q stuff. You gotta Q stuff, and you actually have to work to get better software. Software and processors, because that's how you get your good shit running. Oh shit. So I am out of. Apparently Twitter is saying Dante is gay and Castlevania gay vampires before in the game. Is that true? No, Dante is not gay. And gay vampires in Castlevania? Not before the show. It is once again, Zoomers discover new thing and now immediately know every single thing about new thing because they found one left-leaning white guy video essay that agrees with them. Katawa Shoujo best girl, Lily. I like the blind chick a lot. There we go. There be no demons in this household. As a Zoomer, I barely apologize for all other Zoomers. You better. You better. I like Cyberlegs girl. She's fun. She's the one that I think she has like the most sex scenes in the entire game, and that's kind of one of the reasons I avoid the route, where it's like I'm not really here for the sex scenes. I'm here because I genuinely like the story and the characters. That's not even being a puritanical, ooh, it shouldn't have that. It's just like, nah, I usually skip over them. Like, I understand it's a rogue, it comes with the territory, but I just skip past them. I repeat, though, this is me. I'm not saying get rid of them. I'm saying I personally skip past them. So any game developers that might be watching this, don't think you have to change everything to suit my personal needs. I am one man. Don't let stupid opinions from YouTuber man impact your creative vision. Unfiltered creative vision is a million times better than trying to appeal to everybody. If you want to appeal to dudes who jerk off to disabled girls, you have a much better chance of becoming a success by just being honest. The guy who made this game wanted more porn pics of his OC with a massive horse cock. Perverts are the ones secretly guiding culture, so you know. I can't climb up that. I'm trying to remember where to go. This is another one where I end up kind of getting lost a little bit here. Not too much, but it does happen. You know, you kind of start humping every door you see. I took the cripple pill. No, the conversation's about Katawa Shoujo, which is about cripple girls. I'm just like, yeah, I skipped past all the sex scenes in it, but, you know, the game being an unfiltered passion project by a bunch of neckbeards on 4chan, sex scenes and all, has lasted longer than any fucking lowest common denominator appealing bullshit. It was brave, and that bravery is appreciated by others. Okay. Yeah, we'll have to go back. I don't know where. Don't think we're going anywhere near here. Did you hear that Jim Ryan is stepping down as CEO of Sony? Move it back to Japan. Just move it back to Japan already. I'm throwing shit at me. I was doing what are you talking about? Yeah. Katawa Shoujo and the ethics of jerking off to women who are disabled. There we go. Okay. Already tried that door, so yeah, this. Candy for $10. Thoughts on why Netflix live action do bad? Recently, they hired authors of Bebop and Airbender and both quit midway, saying their vision was not kept. Heck, even Oda said One Piece was very rocky. Because they get people who don't respect the material they're working with. They outright believe they are better than it, and they will punish people who like it by making it shit. That's not even an exaggeration. That is just what they do. To bring it back to Watchmen, the entire reason I fucking started this stream, because I was so angry when I finished Watchmen. You know, it was a show made with contempt for Watchmen. It was made with just absolute bitter contempt, and that contempt is felt. You know, that contempt is felt, and it's what made everyone so bitter about the show in general. We have this issue now where every fucking writer that being put in charge of adaptations are not fans. You know, it's not Peter Jackson getting to adapt the Lord of the Rings, and he's making all of his actors learn how to actually speak like fucking elves. You know, it's people who think that is the dumbest thing in the world, and think that everyone who likes it is stupid. And that's the problem with a lot of these adaptations lately. Like Cowboy Bebop, they're putting articles about how they fixed Gren. Fixed. As if Gren was a problem that needed to be fixed and not a character made for very specific reasons and a specific story. I mean, that is what makes everyone just exhausted dealing with this crap. There is no actual love put into anything they're doing. This is stupid and needs modern politics. Exactly. You know, that is the entire reason they do all this crap. It is attention-seeking, modern politics bullshit. Which is, like, it sounds like such a boomer thing to say. It's like, oh, they need to stop making everything so fucking political, you know? No, the actual point is stop making it look like your fucking Twitter feed. You know, your opinion is not the only one that matters in the world. There are other perspectives. There's other perspectives, and you're only preaching this because you think it's the popular opinion. So it's not anything you actually believe in. Okay, so yeah. Climb through here. Let's see. Have you read Goku Midnight Eye? I have not. According to the gaze in a novel Dante was by and being penetrated by swords and homoerotic imagery 101. I fucking can't, man. It's all bullshit. Although they'll say, like, oh, there was actually a book that came out that you just didn't know about. Book's not canon. Book's not canon because the game never mentions it. It's like, you are looking for shit to agree with you because how dare I like something that isn't agreeing with me 100%. You know, that is all it amounts to. It's you know, this has to agree with every single thing I believe in, otherwise it's wrong. That's why, as stated, when you look at Disco Elysium fans and tell them about how the game's not just strictly communist, they get all fucking angry about it. And it's like, well, you know, you don't have any media literacy. You know, that kind of shit. It's like, no, you're a fucking idiot. You are a fucking idiot. Oh yeah, I forgot you have the basically security cameras, so you can kind of get a view of everything before you go kill everything in sight. The author of Goku Midnight Eye, Buichi Terusawa, died recently. Oh, I had to check it out. Because I've never heard of it. I don't know if it was, Yeah, there we go. There we go, okay. Now I feel foolish. Wait, the One Piece adaptation wasn't great and was only talked about for a week. Who could have seen that coming? Also, hi. Some people say they do genuinely like it. I fully am of the belief of Season 1 might be fine, but Oda was getting genuinely frustrated dealing with Netflix and told them over and over and over again, stop trying to change my fucking manga. Stop trying to do this. Stop trying to do that. He flat out said, I sent back footage multiple times saying I cannot sign off on something I know is bad. Netflix was trying to Cowboy Bebop him. It's just the fact he was willing to take a stand and go, fuck you. They couldn't really do anything because he would pull the rights from them. So that's why I keep saying, like, the minute it's announced Oda isn't going to be as involved anymore, that's when you're going to see the quality fucking sink. Because the people involved hate One Piece. They hate it, and they're trying to say fuck you to the fans. In Katao Shoujo, I always pick Deaf Girl just so I can cheat on her with a real best girl, Misha. Game treats it like a bad ending, though. I mean, in general, that route doesn't really have a happy ending. Everyone's pretty much miserable by the end of it. How much do you reckon they would fix Yamato? Yeah, right? That's the first one. Like, the fucking showrunner, or at least someone who was, like, involved with the show production, was streaming with fucking Hassan. And that literally told everyone all they needed to know. It's like, oh no. Oda has to, like, keep these people on a fucking leash. Okay. There we go. And in true Doom clone fashion, let's run him back, guys. Go. There we go. I'm convinced people that tweet these stuff about the thing agreeing with my politics use bot for ratios against actual factual arguments against their own. A lot of time they do, because people report them for bot activity, and they get taken down. Because people look at it and go, hey, wait a minute, you have 400 followers, how are you getting 57,000 likes for a tweet that, everyone has fucking made already? And it's because, yeah, they bought their shit. Once again, that's why, Elon monetizing Twitter has fucked the place up in ways that cannot even be imagined. Because it's only encouraged people to engagement farm and post like the dumbest Facebook tier shit imaginable just to get people to click on their shit. 'Cause like, well, I can get paid for it now. And you can see shit like Delusional Takes, that dude. He posted one of his payouts from Twitter because he's a pretty popular account. He's getting like $1,000. And it's like, holy shit, that's a substantial amount of money for literally just posting on Twitter. There we go. Oh, shit. There we go. How was Bleach so far? Personally, I like it more than Naruto and One Piece. It is good. I like it a lot. I think it's a lot of fun. I'm still on Soul Society because I had to take a break to watch fucking Watchmen. And I was at, like, Ichigo was just kind of running around in the fucking Soul Society village. Like, all I remember is he was running around a lot of streets being chased by guys. It's like, yeah, there was like 4 episodes where that happened. So, it's not even filler, that's the worst part. It seems to be like canon episodes, but maybe it's canon episodes that are stretched out. But that's kind of what it felt like. Where it's like, I remember the manga, this was a lot shorter. You guys throwing shit at me. Yeah. That scratched my eye. The anime adapting one chapter at a time for you. Yeah. Have you seen the one-armed lady, Ganju's sister? I don't think I've gotten to her yet. Wait, is it Kukaku? Because yes, I have gotten to her. I always forget that she has one arm. It's like, no, she had 2 arms. But I admit I was not really looking at her arms. Okay, they're dead. Oh, good. Yeah. Kenny, $5 is funny because in the One Piece Season 2 announcement, the exec producer said the script is ready. Then Oda falls after saying the script is a long way to go. That's what I mean. They are trying to fuck over Oda and do the typical Netflix thing of, how dare you ask for something better? Don't you know writers have to work very hard? And of course, he's like, no, fuck you. You want to adapt my manga, you do it how I want, motherfucker. Which he has every right to. It's like, if the show goes bad, it reflects poorly on him. Yeah, I forgot they do the fucking... Oh. Yeah, it reflects poorly on him. Which, obviously, he'd be frustrated about. It's like, dude, you are going to make this look bad and fuck me over. Which I think is part of it. Let's say there is the resentment towards Japan that a lot of studio types have. I wouldn't quite go so far as say it's like racism and they personally hate Japan, but it's gimping the competition. It's like, well, why would we adapt American works when we could adapt what I wrote? That kind of thing. Because a lot of people that get into Hollywood want to be writers. They want to be the next Cormac McCarthy. They want to be the next Joel and Ethan Cohen. They want to be the ones to define movies and all that shit. And of course, that's not what happens. They end up being, contract jobbers for shit like One Piece live action. And yeah, we have to go all the way back because I fucked up. I always forget Valkyrie chicks have their shields. They have their shields, and there's like a specific way you get past them. Glad that Cure live action was canceled, or was it? Yeah, it's gonna be in. We thought Devil May Cry anime would have quietly died because we hadn't heard anything about it in like 4 fucking years. And I know where they're like, oh, yep, it's coming. It's like, it's probably gonna be terrible. It's probably gonna be awful. So we actually did need that. Awesome. If I remember right, it was back here. Where's Shota? He's not here. I'm streaming by myself because 2019 Watchmen pissed me off so bad. I was like, dude, I gotta vent about this to somebody and be like, you don't understand. Avoid this at all fucking cost. Avoid this because it's genuinely fucking ridiculous, and I go so far as to say racist. I actually go that far. It's like how anyone can say it's like a good story for black people. It's like, you must think really fucking badly about black people. If anyone ever remembers the green text where it's the guy and his friend are sitting down to watch Black Panther, and the guy turns to his buddy and says, I predict in the next 5 minutes there's going to be I predict in the next first 5 minutes there's going to be references to basketball, slavery, and rap. And his buddy's like, oh, that's a funny joke. He's like, no, it's not a joke. I predict in the first 5 minutes there's going to be references to basketball, slavery, and rap. And the movie starts, and yep, first 5 minutes, basketball, slavery, rap. Like that's how formulaic it is now. It's like that is what they view the American black man as. You only care about slavery, you only care about rap music, and you only care about basketball. I mean, look at the shit with Miles Morales. You know, the comic book character. For so long, they kept him as the Black Peter. That was literally his fucking character. And they went so far as in the What If Miles Morales Was Thor? They had a fucking full-on Jigaboo-style minstrel show of like everyone in Asgard's a black guy, and they have faves, they have fucking Nike shoes. You know, they straight up say Asgard is my hood. It's like, why is it not clicked with people yet? This whole fucking thing, the whole like, you know, ultra enlightened liberal mindset is the most fucking artificial bullshit ever. They pretend to know. You know, you have guys like Seth MacFarlane go like, yeah, you know, we are kind of out of touch, aren't we? And then they all laugh and pat themselves on the back. It's like, self-flagellation doesn't make this okay. You still have to change. You still have to actually fix your behavior for it to get any better. Lazarus, $5. Think you could do a video on the emasculation of Kratos' character from the original games to the new games? I don't know. I kind of, I'm so bored with Reboot God of War, I don't even know if I want to touch it. Yeah. Once again, I would rather be like, yes, X thing is bad, so watch other thing instead. You know, that's kind of what I want. I want to recommend, like, alternate shit. That's kind of what I like doing now. Because, you know, I have been turned on to stuff that is you know, I never thought I would ever watch. Mr. In Between, a fucking crime show from Australia. I never thought I'd watch that. I fucking loved it. Shit like Barry. I never thought I'd you know, all fairness, I liked Barry ever since I saw the trailer, but HBO dramedy that only really peaked, like only really got attention after like season 3 came out. For a while, it was kind of buried in its own little niche. You know, this isn't to be like a contrarian or be like, oh, X popular thing is bad. There's tons of popular stuff that I like, you know? The thing is just, I feel like everyone feels enslaved to big name stuff to where they can only watch the same 5 franchises, you know? Like, Rich Evans made a really good point in, I think it was the Ghostbusters Afterlife review, where he said, you know, culture has kind of stagnated since the 80s. Our kids are never allowed to play with new toys. They're only supposed to play with Ghostbusters toys and Transformers. They're supposed to play with our toys, goddammit. Oh, hi, Demon Girl. Okay, I say Demon Girl, but she's actually more complicated than that. Lots of choices. One of the good things is channels who go back and saw what worked and made the magic explode. Yeah. Personally, really want a God of War anthology series, like say there was an Egyptian guy who had to fight gods. Yeah, you know, move on to a different time period and don't even try to connect to the older games. The problem with that is you have the obvious mindset of, well, you can't exactly do that because people will be like, well, I don't want new thing. I want old thing again. And that ends up fucking a lot of stuff over. Yeah, that's the way you beat the Valkyrie chicks. You go in and melee them. You don't have to do it, but it's the easiest way to do it. You do get other weapons that can crunch through the shield, like explosives and stuff like that. Now liberals are going after Mexicans with bullshit like Latinx. Well, yeah, I mean, they'll try to go towards anything and be like, we're the cool guys, don't you like us? And a lot of time, you know, because you have so many controlled opposition on the right, they look so uncool that it's like, well, fuck it, I'll just go along with this guy, because at least he has good music, that kind of thing. Like, the right has a problem where they allow people who do not have their best interest at heart to speak for them. That's why I keep saying, like, hey, don't trust guys like Andrew Tate or Matt Walsh, because they will flat out in it. If you corner them in a room, they will flat out say they don't care and they are working against you. So don't fucking listen to them. What does Scroll of Nourish do? Oh, it's a health regen. That's pretty cool. Ben Shapiro comes to mind. He's one of them. I can't exactly say anything, but he's one of them. Okay, break the world, break the ward, dispel magic scroll, change to purple ink. Yeah. It highlights the keywords where it's like, look for this. There we go. Yeah. Have you seen Sound of Freedom? Yeah, I've seen Sound of Freedom. I actually liked it. Little preachy, but fuck it. There have been much preachier movies about subject matter that's not as severe. So I think it is genuinely a good movie. Yeah, people go like, oh, it's like something you'd see in Hallmark. Like I said, I've seen movies that are like a million times fucking preachier. Million times preachier and about an issue that you don't take as seriously. Because, like, yes, the movie about anti-child trafficking is preachy. Yes, who could have fucking guessed? It's almost like it's a bad thing to traffic children. I'm going to save over this real quick. Do you watch UFC? Have you seen Sean Strickland and the next Nelk Boys interviews? I only watched bits and pieces. What did they say? Was it funny? Because some of those can get funny. Problem with modern pop culture is we now want something well written, like the first season of Game of Thrones, but they keep treating us like we enjoyed Game of Thrones season 7. That's part of it, yeah. There's just no respect for the audience, you know? There is no respect for people's intelligence. They think everyone is stupid. So they play into cliches and they do shit that is stupid. Because they're like, well, why would you question it? You just accept it, right? You know, it's just dumb, right? Like you're dumb. And it's like, fuck you. That's not even saying that, like, movies back then were fucking, the masterpieces of writing. There were plenty of stupid movies that came out back then. There we go. If I remember right, it's a secret to open that. I just gotta remember how. Yeah, I know. What's WAP? Wet-ass pussy. Yeah. There we go. And I think I have to get, like, all the ingredients in order to fucking, Yeah, you get, like, all the ingredients, and then it will automatically put them in the cauldron, I believe. So, we shall figure this out. What's his game? Hedon Bloodright. Hedon, Bloodright. It is a fantastic game. Samurai Bear for $1. Oda is like Kubrick, a perfectionist. Yeah, and there's very, like, I didn't like the idea of making One Piece live action in the first place because it's inspired by 1940s cartoons. Well, not 1940s, but, like, you know, Popeye and stuff like that. So it's supposed to not be live action. It's supposed to be a cartoon. Where's such 30 game $1? I want more sex scenes and games and interactive. I want to impregnate Pan Am minigame only available to mail and Fuda V. Get help. Lord Purpose for $1. What's a sleeper hit you haven't covered in a video? Also, their Plans Remaster. Oh, yeah. Already got that one. Hedon, head on Bloodright, right? No, Hedon Bloodright. It is a fantastic game. It is genuinely very good. Because we haven't even gotten to, like, the first big set piece of the game. Okay. Ugh. All worms must die. Actually, 042 for $20. It's so weird that people would claim Dante is LGBT when in the games he's looking at nudie mags of women. He's all, and he's all scenes with Nevin and DMC3 is a metaphor for intercourse. Now you have to do a Castlevania review. Well, I've had Castlevania on the list for a while. And that's another one where I have to go back and get through. Which at least Castlevania, you have season 1 and 2. Even if I do think that season 2 is flawed in retrospect. With like the constant scenes of vampire politics where it's like, these are fucking boring and they mean literally nothing. They're baits for later seasons they don't even follow up on, and I fucking hate the, we'll bait this for another season shit. It's like, no one gave a fuck about vampire politics. You are there to watch, Forces of the Night get their asses kicked. 6 million peso man, $5. Henry Cavill played Guts perfectly in Berserker's live action. I don't think Berserk live action works at all. Like, I'm very strict about it, but it's purely because, like, I do not think Berserk would work in live action. It is too stylized. It's too stylized, and I don't trust modern studios to do it right. It's one of those of, no, you don't even go near that route. Keep it anime. It doesn't need to be in live action in order to earn respect or anything like that. It should remain anime because that's what makes it distinct. Okay. I might have everything to brew the potion now. I might. I don't know. Okay, I do. Any new animes with macho pro tags? City Hunter got a new movie, so technically. There we go. So, yeah. Now we got purple ink. Now we gotta remember where to go. I think we go up here. Yeah. Something that potent pigment, which have all the ingredients, mix them in the cauldron. Okay. So we might just go back to the thing with the fucking door ward. Okay. But we can't because we gotta write it first. Like I said, I gotta remember the steps to this. There are legitimately steps you have to follow. Hi, Doodly Champion Diddly Doodler, $5. I won't watch One Piece live action because I don't like making anime live action and don't want to contribute to them trying it more. It is one of those where if you want to watch it pirated. So Netflix doesn't think you want it, and you are able to see if you like it or not. Because worst case scenario, it is better to have the, man, it would have been great if it had more seasons than, oh god, it went on for so fucking long and we all hated it, Better the bittersweet tragedy than the painful one. Okay, so we still need to full-on make the scroll. Here we go. Story of the Simpsons and Futurama, exactly. It's like there are cases where it's a fate worse than death. And like I said, I mean, we're already dealing with a lot of studios that flat out hate anime and stuff like that. I wouldn't trust them with anything long term. Unless it came from Japan, and even then, there's some where it just doesn't work. Rurouni Kenshin can work in live action because it's just samurais fighting each other. It's stylized, but it's samurais fighting each other. With something like Berserk, there's so much you would have to put into it. You would have to pour so much money into it and get people who really knew what they were doing in order to get everything to look right. And at that point, that's not really even worth the effort. It's like, fuck it. Anime, you have endless possibilities with animation. You can get as creative and stylized as you want, so go the animation route, Me and Guillermo del Toro are on that battlefield, even though I'm not even like a big animation guy, where it's like, ooh, I like animating stuff. It's like, no, I'm not an artist. I don't draw anything. It's just the fact that, yeah, you know, animation lets you have stuff like Mad God, which has very creative sequences and creatures and things like that to tell a story. I went from, wow, I wish that I would have a second season, to, wow, I wish that was dead. Exactly. That's in the late seasons of It's Always Sunny. From what I'm hearing, they're kind of reaching what I'm talking about, where people are like, this is still going, huh? Okay. Now, a lot of the seasons in It's Always Sunny are funny as hell. Like, I love the first bunch of seasons, like, up to, like, season 6 or so. Axie 042, $5. I'll try my best to write down my super chats better so you don't have a stroke trying to read it. There we go. So yeah, we gotta find the table with the magic scroll in order to write down the ward so we can get out. And I'm 95% sure I'm way past the fucking par for the level. But fuck it. It don't matter. Damn it. Yeah, a little bit of Half-Life ladder climbing there. Okay. Ralph Bakshi did some super strange stuff, though. Very, very niche audience. Well, it's like better to be niche than try to appeal to everybody. You know? People will remember something that was made for a very specific group of people a lot more than something that was trying to appeal to everyone. General audiences aren't immediately a sin, but they can definitely lead you into just watering yourself down for not much. Ever see High School Girl? High Score Girl? Yeah, it was pretty fun when we watched it. It was a Netflix CG anime though, so we were like, oh god. And right now we're sitting to watch Kengan Ashura Season 2, and it's like, man, these fights would be the fucking greatest thing ever if they were in 2D. But we're just not allowed to have nice things. Okay. Watch from the other side. Pretty sure I remember where the paper is. It's somewhere around here. Yeah, it might just be back here. Fuck it. Except we already came back from there. Okay, so. Martin stuff down to lowest common denominator. Exactly. I think I tapped out of It's Always Sunny around the time Mac officially came out as gay. To me, it was much funnier when it was deeply closeted. Yeah. It's definitely one of those where it's like, you know, calling attention to that joke, I can see working for a bit, but then yeah, it just kind of just comes down to, well, now Mac's gay, so now what do you do? Zialnoe 02 for 10 fake monies. What's wrong about new God of War? I don't like it. I don't like what they do with Kratos. I think it's very self-indulgent of the director, where it's about him and his son, and it doesn't match Kratos at all. I think they fucked up royally by just giving a time skip to his son is already 10 years old, and we never even met his wife. We never even found out about his change to be a different person. Like, we were expected to just accept massive amounts of character development, when that character development's a lot more interesting than what they show us. Okay. Is this it? No, okay. I still gotta remember how to make this fucking ward. I've read Kengan Omega. I've not read Omega, but I know Shota's reading it and he really likes it. Okay. So that's where these guys are all dead. Trying to remember, there was a step we were missing, Because now we actually have to physically write the scroll. Could be in that, could be in this little chamber over here. I'm seeing build videos for the new God of War games, and it's all just like Destiny-style fucking shit. Like Destiny, the MMO. Where it's like, it's all just, you know, +2 fire resistance, and that's your Flame of War build. It's like, it means nothing. Okay. Wait, actually, I think that scroll there will actually tell us more. No. Okay. Time to get a little creative here. I might be able to get it. Damn it. Nah, I'll come back. How you doing? Just go try through the link on Subscribestar, but it's not working. Yeah, I had to mess with the bot because someone leaked it out and had to deal with that. So if you email me or like make me aware of which account you are, I can message you one. It kept telling me over and over again, oh no, the bot's working fine now, and it's not fucking working. At least for Subscribestar. Apparently people on Patreon, it's working alright, but Subscribestar, it still wants to throw the bitch fit. Let's try here. Oh yeah, more art. Plies for $10. Recommending Demon Gate High, an obscure manga-esque webcomic about an entire tie-in tabletop RPG about a school for kids, supernatural powers run by the Illuminati, built on the last gate of hell. Well, there you go. This guy likes that. So that sounds interesting to you folks. Yeah. I think this is actually where I'm supposed to go. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Or at least it is on the path of where we need to go. No Twist Metal crew didn't die in a plane crash. They just made a test up to bring some interest to Harbor City. Huh. Trying to remember. There's a lot of art for this game. Yeah, there is. There is a lot of art for this game. Because as stated, the guy made it because he. Oh yeah, it was literally right here. It's a fucking corner of the desk. Yeah, the guy who made it literally wanted people to draw fan art of his OC, and he wanted his OC to be more popular. It's one of those funny little quirky stories of game development. That's on Hideki Kamiya leaving Platinum. Platinum for a while has had issues. As stated, Bayonetta 3's development was a fucking nightmare. So I imagine he was just like, I am done with this shit. I'm out. The fucking Helena Taylor thing was bullshit. Fuck you all. I don't think Helena Taylor was the big motivator. I think he was leaving for a while, but you know what I mean. Many such cases, exactly. Yeah, dude drew it himself as Fuda. Yeah, there's some of it that's Fuda. Dude made the entire game himself. I think he already made the assets himself, which is pretty impressive. That's what I mean by your first big set piece. You actually get the metal music. Damn it. Worms! Yeah, like I said, the music is mainly all licensed out from like heavy metal bands. That Zandt literally just like emailed them as like, can I use an instrumental track from your game? And they're usually pretty cool about it. It's like, yeah, sure. There's a lot of little funny stories about this game. Oh, fuck it. There you go. Rock you out for a little bit. You hear that Synthetic Man is a creepy fangirl now? It's not really that surprising. I mean, once you're big enough, parasocial relationships start developing. You know, there are people who are just not mentally well, and they'll latch onto figures that they watch a lot or something like that. Because, you know, it's familiarity, and they watch them enough that they genuinely start believing that they're friends and all that. So yeah, that's not really that shocking. Hopefully he's dealing with it in a good way, and he's able to, like, you know, not be legitimately stalked by somebody, but you know what I mean. Yeah. I do like the gore in this. It's like brutal Doom gore, where it's able to be very chunky and great. Like Christian's supposed girlfriend after he got out of prison. I want someone to do like an AI cover, like with Christian's voice of Long-Haired Redneck by David Allan Coe. I for some reason that would make me just laugh so fucking hard. He's like, yeah, you know, get Christian to sing Long-Haired Redneck, because it has lyrics that I think would be very, very fitting for. Somehow we actually came in under the par. That is shocking. That is shocking. That is actually surprising. We came in under the par, like right under, but we did it. I think the voices in his head would allow it. Finally started Persona 4 Golden and spoiled for most of the story, but the writing's good enough that I don't mind. I'm also playing a dub. It's ultimately enough, not bad. Well, yeah, Persona dubs are never bad. Persona dubs are usually pretty good. Atlus spends a lot of money on their games. There's a lot of love and attention. I forgot the name of this game. I know it's on Doom Engine. It is Hedon Bloodright. 7 Perfect Blue video. What could you see yourself doing a rematch video on? Probably Mandy. Mandy's another one where it's like I made that way too early, and I would love to cover it again because I like Mandy a lot. That's a very, very good movie. Oh. Focus English voice and validate your argument. Persona 3 is special. Persona 3 has the right amount of like genuinely terrible voice acting alongside good voice acting. Well, that just happened. Oh, shit. Yeah, that just happened. So there was a loud-ass bolt of lightning. Like, I'm actually wondering... No, there's no way you guys could have heard it because the power snapped off, like... Yeah, the power snapped off right before it, but there was a loud-ass bolt of lightning that just snapped out of nowhere, and like the entire house went dark, and I was like, the fuck just happened? So, but I was literally just about to say, you know what, I think it's time to switch it off. It is almost 3 in the morning here, so, but Zeus decided to be like, no, you will go to bed, young man. You will go to bed. So, but I mean, that was like a loud bolt of lightning. I was like, shit, did it actually strike something? Fuck. Better than a semi-truck ramming through your power lines. That is true. That is true. Alan Moore is a wizard. That's right. He heard me talking shit about his TV show, and it's like, no. But that was funny. That was actually really funny. I'm not even gonna lie. But yeah, there you go. Heat and Blood Right. Very, very good game. I will type the name of it into the chat. Play this video game. It is very, very good. Do not watch 2019 Watchmen. It is fucking awful. It is a terrible show. I will make a video about it. Kenny for $2, Zeus and stream, say less. Exactly. But I will make a video about it. I will explain why I didn't like it, a lot of the issues I had with it. My hope is, for the love of God, let's not hate watch stuff into existence. The reason I held off so long on this is specifically I did not want to feed into that mentality. So, will there be a stream tomorrow? Weather permitting, it seems, yes. I still plan on playing Final Fantasy. I think it'll be very good. So, but yeah, there you go. that was funny. It would have been better. Was it raining? It is storming. Just I thought it blew past us when it didn't. But don't watch TV show. Play Fuda game instead. Yeah. Now remember, in the game, Zond's not Fuda, so don't go in thinking you get your representation. You lady dick freaks. It is just a pick that was long before the game came out and is not canon to the game, even though they do make jokes about it. So. Sid was upset. Yeah, there you go. But yeah. Don't watch TV. Pray Phantom River D. Exactly. And Castlevania review. I have a whole list of shit I want to work on for Halloween. So, yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be very, very good. Thank you to everybody who showed up. I am sleepy, so yeah.
Sitting in the Hollywood Hawaiian Hotel, I was staring in my empty coffee cup. I was thinking that the gypsy wasn't blind. All the salty margaritas in Los Angeles, I'm gonna drink 'em up. And if California slides into the ocean, like the mystics and statistics say it will, I predict this motel will be standing until I pay my bill. What? Don't the sun look angry through the trees? Don't the trees look like crucified thieves? Don't you feel like desperados under the eaves? Heaven help the one who leaves. Still waking up in the mornings with shaking hands, and I'm trying to find a girl who understands me, but accepting dreams you're never really free. Don't the sun look angry at me? I was sitting in the Hollywood Hawaiian Hotel. I was listening to the air conditioner hum. Yet when